Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the brand new year that is 2022. It is the Not So Fast podcast. I am your host, John.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, it's not so fast is an accurate description of
Wow.
I thought you were gonna go first. That's why I waited.
We're a little, excuse us, we're a little bit out of the groove here.
Yeah, it's been, 2 months now?
Yeah.
We would have uploaded sooner, but it's literally been the weather
crazy.
and finding a new
Oh
place to
my God.
record.
Yeah, it's been crazy. When summer hits, we will be able to go back to our old recording place.
Yeah, hopefully.
Which is a little more, annoyance free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but either way, we're going to jump right in because we got some news. We got some news to go over, guys.
Finally, although some of it is
Some of it,
kind
we're
of
gonna
old.
we're gonna jump right into the sad news. The death of Betty White, Bob Saget, and Meatloaf. We're gonna go over the quick ones first. Meatloaf, if you don't know him, multi-million-dollar recording artist. My mom listened to him when she was in her younger years. We obviously know who he is.
He would do anything for love, but he wouldn't do that.
Well, apparently,
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good songs.
That song actually made it to a lot of movies. I found out.
Yeah.
A lot of movies would use that song. But
Don't mind me.
Bob Saget was another one. If you guys don't know who Bob Saget is, he was from America's Funniest Home Videos. He was one of his more popular roles. He was the father Danny Tanner on Full House, and then later again on Fuller House.
I'm really trying to be quiet. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to talk over it. I want to
So,
laugh so bad.
So nobody's figured out what
Nope.
causes death
I
yet.
was digging for the past 2 days. As of right now, the cause of death is unexplained.
Still?
He was in a hotel room, he was on tour, and he had just passed away.
Look, I don't want to be
Oh,
that guy,
dude.
but I'm pretty sure it was a little bit of the sugar.
booger
okay.
sugar.
I was about to say, there's no record of him even using drugs.
Okay.
Because
Sugar
if it
is
was-
probably a bad
I was about to say,
way to say it.
he drank too
No,
much soda, man.
I.
Well, I think what
okay,
he
if it
means
was-
is, they might know, but won't say it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
okay, so drugs may not be what killed him, but there is a good chance that maybe he had an alcohol. Maybe he was an alcoholic, and maybe he drunk himself.
I mean, again, there's no
Yeah, but
no, because he was on tour.
if not that, then part of me just wants to believe that it may have just been natural causes.
That's what they're thinking now.
How old was he?
50 something.
Yeah, he was in his 50s.
Damn, natural causes at 50?
As of right now, the autopsies have shown nothing out of the ordinary. No foul play, no drugs, no alcohol. It could have just been a health issue that we were unaware of.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, Bob Saget was a decent. I've heard stories where he was a decent guy, but then again, I've also heard stories that a lot of people are saying that he was kind of a dick backstage. But I'm like, yeah, if you go and look at his stand-up comedy, he wasn't so squeaky clean as Full House made him out to be.
Oh yeah, but that was with every. Well, I wouldn't say every. Again, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. You kind of have to expect that with celebrities of of these old sitcoms. They got into stuff that not everyone would suspect them of doing. Take Bill Cosby, for example.
Oh, God.
But we're not going to get into the specifics of Bill Cosby because we all know what Bill Cosby did.
That's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, with a bunch of these celebrities, they have to lead second lives. They don't... a normal person wouldn't want to be seen as perpetually squeaky clean to both the media and to real life because, that's not who they are. That's not who they were when they got signed on to be a part of that sitcom or show or media in general. So he probably was leading a life that not everyone knew about, or he had some stuff going on that obviously wasn't known. But at the end of the day, I personally believe that it must have been natural causes. Maybe he had a family a past history of family illness that his relatives may have had.
There was stories.
I got a shiny.
There was a story that he told. Recently before he passed, about his sister, about him and his sister before his sister had tragically died a while ago. But I didn't look too deep into that, so I probably could have. But yeah, no, I'm hoping it's not too serious. I'm hoping he wasn't leading Second Life where he was in all this stuff, but definitely Bob Saget. We've all watched Full House.
Yeah.
We've all watched Full House. Have you
It's a
either of you
classic.
watched Fuller House yet?
I have not.
I have. It's raunchy. It's a little bit raunchier than what Full House was. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, of course.
Oh god, it was funny. It was so great. Characters returning, even though Aunt Becky's in jail right now.
Oh, Becky.
I'm not even joking on that.
Poor Becky.
There was this whole thing that came up about her buying her daughter's way into college and bribing the dean. And all
Oh
this.
wait, that was
Yeah.
her.
That was her. That
Oh
was Aunt
my
Becky.
God.
She tried to get the boys into college.
Okay.
she's,
If
trying
we're,
to get, she's trying to get her daughters into a college. I guess her and other parents were bribing the dean and some sort of something along those lines. Yeah, but Bob Saget, you will be missed, buddy.
I mean-
he brought many laughters.
I know we're going to get off track here, and we do want to like discuss
Yeah.
Betty White in a second. But, like off track here, we're going to be talking about like celebrity scandals. Whoopi Goldberg had to
I saw
had to
that.
leave the Voice. Well, what was it like
It was The View.
The View. She's suspended from being on The View for like a couple weeks over what she said earlier this week
What did she
concerning the Holocaust.
say? Oh no! Oh no!
Didn't she-
Whoopi, no!
She turned it from a race problem into a white problem,
Oh, no.
essentially.
Oh.
Like that's
Okay,
the
yeah.
short of it. Like it's messed up that she said that. Like really messed up that she would like compare it to that.
Yeah. What the fuck?
But like, yeah, if we're gonna be talking about scandals, no,
I
that's
saw that.
that's
I
a
saw-
scandal.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't look it too deep into it because I'm like, oh, she probably just said a joke that people thought it was too fucking scandalous. No, as a matter of fact, she wasn't. She didn't say a joke, but oh my god.
She did and didn't.
So
And so she
going-
did eventually apologize, but like for her first few appearances after saying that before she got suspended from The View, it wasn't like an actual full apology. Like she was trying to defend herself in that statement. I mean, you kind of have to defend yourself at that point when you say something as controversial as
yeah, but
that.
I
but-
got this gut feeling she shot herself in the foot because if this doesn't die down quick, she's gonna be done on The View, and no one's gonna want to work with her.
and
We've seen
maybe that's
what happens.
maybe that's for the best. Maybe that is for the best, but that's
So-
not for any of us here at the
going-
podcast to decide.
So Meatloaf apparently had died due to possible COVID.
Okay.
Because I guess he went against the guidelines.
Damn.
Maybe, I don't know. That was the story I read.
And as a quick reminder to everyone, nevertheless, concerning your opinions on COVID,
Exactly.
whether or not it can kill you or not, always get the vaccine. Like the vaccine,
Well,
like it's recommended for any strain of the virus, even at this point where at the end of the pandemic, which I do believe we're at the end of the pandemic, unless some
I don't know.
new strain comes
They keep
up.
coming out with new strains every week. So
Yeah, like just get the vaccine. Like even against your opinions on vaccines in general, like this one's not gonna hurt you in the long run
but,
that we know of.
Yeah, but they did say it was possible
Mm.
COVID related. Either way, Bob Saget, like I said, his death was not yet to be determined. They're still working on the autopsy just to make sure. Now Betty White, we're gonna get to the big one. We won't spend too
Betty.
much time on this, but we're gonna get to the big one. It's Betty White. Nah, not necessarily saying the other two weren't big, but it's Betty freaking White.
Yeah,
She
right
started
bef-
on Full House for a couple episodes with Danny Tanner. She started many other things. The Golden Girls.
Hot in Cleveland.
Hot in Cleveland was the other one I couldn't think of.
Trying to
Wasn't
think.
she Everybody Loves Raymond's mom, or was that a different
No,
one?
that
That's
was a different woman.
No,
I
that
think
was
she
someone
was
else.
on some movie called The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds.
Betty White was a badass in her own right.
She was a bad mamma
She
jamma.
was this may be controversial to say. I don't give a fuck what you two think after I say this. Betty White was the Stan Lee of sitcoms. She did cameos here and there. No, wait, she didn't star on Full House with Danny Tanner. That was the one from Everybody Loves Raymond.
yeah, so
But either way, it's
She
Betty
has to be
White.
too. I
has
think her
a-
name was Doris Roberts.
Yeah.
she has
I
a
could be wrong.
long history in sitcoms and television. She was practically adored by almost everyone.
I have not heard one bad thing about
And again, like it wasn't only the fact that like she died right before the end of the year. It was the fact that like
She was
Wasn't she?
99.
Yeah, she was
She
99.
was going to turn.
She was
she
going
died
to
a
In
turn.
little-
January,
a
she was
month.
gonna turn 100.
Yeah, she only died like a few days before turning 100. Like that would have been that's insane. Okay, not a lot of people on this planet can live to be 100 and have the kind of legacy that Betty White had. And it's a shame that she unfortunately didn't get to reach
didn't get
100.
to experience Hot in Cleveland, even though it's on YouTube, I believe. I may check out a few of the episodes, and same thing with the Golden Girls. But Betty White has touched everybody in their hearts, made everybody smile. I've heard from numerous actors that has worked with her. She's nothing but the sweetest old lady that you could possibly meet. She's nothing but the sweetest person you can talk to, but she's also one of the fucking funniest.
Yeah,
Apparently, she
hilarious.
got everybody to crack up no matter who it was. And to see her go like that, I don't honestly, you know what? Screw it. She took 2021 weather. I don't give a shit. She went down swinging.
Too bad 2022 is.
It's not feeling any better.
Just like Macho Man took Y2K with him.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
Oh,
Macho Man,
God, I
that's
forgot.
actually a nice transition, buddy, because WWE is in some hot water. This is the year of the hot water for almost everybody. WWE is in some major hot water right now, amidst all the releases, all the firings they've been doing. The
boy.
Royal Rumble shenanigans really kicked up this weekend amidst of everything else going on.
Okay, so obviously I don't follow WWE.
This is
As
going
much
to be
as
more
you
of the
guys do.
behind the scenes kind of deal going on. This isn't what's going on in the ring.
Yeah, so give me a rundown of what's been going on behind the
So-
scenes.
Over the past 3 years, WWE has fired and let go of their contracts of over 135 superstars.
Ooh.
It may be more now. I'll have to redouble check. But last thing I looked, it was over 135 superstars. Okay, fine. They've done massive cleanouts like this before. Well, come to find out a month later, after the firings, one of the heads of talent relations or the heads of the TV product, Nick Khan, had bought a $30 million home after the firings, which they disguised the firings under budget cuts. Again, I could have gotten the price of the home
I
wrong.
want to see this.
What?
Sorry.
Oh.
No, the,
I
oh,
could
never
have
mind.
gotten the price of the home wrong, but he ended up buying a big mansion after the firings.
Ugh.
WWE in itself is slated to go slowly down in ratings, both on Raw and SmackDown, in terms of pay-per-view buys.
Mhm.
The only thing, in my eyes, that was keeping WWE afloat for the longest time was NXT, which was supposed to be their developmental brand, which is where they're supposed to be training the stars of tomorrow.
And they just got rid of it.
Triple H, they didn't get rid of it. Hold on, don't get ahead of me now. Triple H was put in charge of NXT, and he made that thing a cultural phenomenon. Signing indie wrestlers, actual wrestlers, not just, Olympic stars, not just former basketball players, not just former people who couldn't make it in the NFL. They were actually signing actual wrestlers. Your Adam Coles, your Johnny Garganos, your Tommaso Ciampas, people that were wrestling for 10 to 15 years before going to WWE or going to somewhere like that. So they brought in NXT. Now, the thing is with NXT, they did something called long-term booking, which basically means they didn't drag out a storyline too much. If wrestlers had a storyline, they left, they brought back the two wrestlers to go against each other again. They made nods to the rivalry in the past, and they kept the feud going a little bit with that. It was fantastic TV and fantastic matches. One of my favorite guys on there was Keith Lee. The man is as big as my stepdad. He's almost 400 pounds, and the guy moves like a cruiserweight. They move everybody up to the main roster. They wanted to move Adam Cole, which he is a household name if you're an indie wrestling fan. And the guy was probably one of the best on the rosters to ever lace up a pair of boots. Well, Vince decided to take the NXT show that was an hour on the WWE Network and put it to 2 hours on USA Network on Tuesday nights. Okay, everything, it took a minute for them to get used to it, but they got their bearings and they started rolling. Well, then the company of AEW showed up out of nowhere. So what did Vince want to do? He wanted to hold a monopoly on the wrestling business. And he moved from NXT from Tuesday nights to Wednesday nights and wanted to shut AEW down amidst the Wednesday night wars. That didn't work, so when AEW was still up and running 3 years later, Triple H ended up having a heart attack, which people are thinking now is just bullshit. So in the midst of this heart attack, Triple H is gone from NXT. Vince and his 4 cronies take over, which his 4 cronies are him, John Laurinaitis, head of talent relations, Bruce Pritchard, head writer and head of the creative team,
Okay.
and that Nick Khan fellow I mentioned. In the midst of them taking over NXT, they totally changed it. They go from NXT Black and Gold to NXT 2.0. Nobody's liking it. Nobody's liking this NXT 2.0. They're releasing stars. They've openly said they don't want wrestlers. They don't want people over the age of 35 with an independent wrestling background. Now, mind you, you would think for a wrestling company, you'd want somebody with a background.
You know, that's in general for any kind of employer.
Yeah.
You
well,
want an employee that has a
talking about
history.
You want
Vince McMahon.
experience in your field.
Yeah.
So, nobody over the age of 35. Nobody under the 200 pound, or 205, 300 pound mark. Because in anything under 205 is considered cruiserweight. Anything above that is considered heavyweight. At least in WWE era of terms.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which-
at least.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because you have a cruiserweight champion. They had a cruiserweight division.
I know, but like from what you've told me so far with these past two, they seem reasonable enough. Like you don't want someone over the age of 35 just because, like, especially in that field of work, like that's
The age
it's gonna be
I can-
easier to get injured.
The
At
age
that
I
point.
can see, the age I can get past, that's fine. But the under the 300 pound mark, so you gotta understand something about Vince McMahon. He's a bodybuilder. And his mindset is still stuck back in the 80s where your wrestlers were big, bulky,
How are you?
can't move in the ring at all. I mean, there's wrestlers now that can move in the ring. But he wants larger than life characters, which is fine, but nobody wants that in
He
their
wants
professional
nothing but
wrestling.
walls.
Exactly. He wants nothing. AEW is killing it right now with the wrestlers because they are down to earth characters. They're not these grand things like Hulk Hogan was or Macho Man Randy Savage was. They're down to earth characters. There's people we can connect to. That's what people want in wrestling nowadays, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Especially me, and I still love WWE. So going from all these problems, the NXT. Oh, that doesn't even get me started. So there was one night they had a match: Braun Breaker versus Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa was the heart and soul, along with Johnny Gargano, of the old black and gold NXT.
Okay.
There was a title match between the two. So Tommaso Ciampa comes out. Mind you, Tommaso Ciampa is not a small guy, but he's not a big guy either. He's right in that middle ground. He come out looking like Kratos from God of War. He looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Then Braun Breaker comes out. This is nothing against Braun Breaker. I think this is what the writing team gave him, and I feel bad for the guy. Because the guy can wrestle. Braun Breaker is a second or third generation superstar. Son to
Golden Dust?
Rick Steiner. No,
No,
Rick
no,
Steiner.
no, wrong one.
Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner were the tag team back in WCW. If you don't know who Scott Steiner is, Greg, I'll show you later a video on Scott Steiner math because his promos are horrendous.
All right.
But Rick Steiner can go, and Braun Breaker can go in the ring. On Braun Breaker's way out to the ring, there was the old logo for NXT Black and Gold. What does WWE have him do? They have him break the old logo made out of styrofoam, basically saying NXT Black and Gold is dead. Now, NXT Black and Gold is what drew people into NXT. The storylines were great, the matches were great, everything was great. From the behind the scenes, Triple H was working gold with that, no pun intended. Like, he hit the freaking nail on the coffin with that. Well, on the other opposite end of the thing, Braun Breaker also hit the head of the nail of the coffin when he came out. I know I stuttered my words there for a second. But now we fast forward to with all the problems to the WWE Royal Rumble this past Saturday
Oh
night.
boy.
WWE Royal Rumble is one of the biggest 4 pay-per-views that WWE puts on. There's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. Those are the 4 core pay-per-views that WWE has always done. Now, apparently, I want to say these are rumors, but I'm believing it because every wrestling podcast, every wrestling news site is reporting the same exact story. The script for the entire pay-per-view, or at least just the men's Royal Rumble, was changed 20 times in a row leading up to that entire week. This poses as a problem because Vince and his writing team has always... There was one night Vince had to change the script for Monday Night Raw 5 minutes before the show went on the air. So half the show had no script.
Oh my god. 5 minutes.
5 minutes before. Now, mind you, we're talking about a 3-hour show.
Oh my god.
Monday Night Raw goes for 3 hours now. And it's the most boring 3 hours you can ever put on.
And this is again is a Royal Rumble.
This is one of their core 4 pay-per-views, one of the biggest events of the year. Because the Royal Rumble starts what everybody calls the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the end-all be-all of the calendar year for WWE. That ends things and starts new things. WWE decides to change the script for the Men's Royal Rumble 20 times in a row. One of them, Matt Riddle, which is a fan favorite right now, was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. Well, everybody is not happy with WWE because not only did they fuck up the entire Royal Rumble, they fucked up the entire pay-per-view. Now, another problem with WWE has, and this goes into the Royal Rumble, is they can't book women right. They don't know how to book women's wrestling. And they say women's wrestling doesn't sell. Bullshit. AEW had a women's only main event that outsold Raw viewers by a lot. That's because they knew how to book it. So what does WWE do? They get rid of all the actual female wrestlers and keep the divas. And what I mean is they care more about looks than actual wrestling now. It seems like we're going back to that. So what do they do after firing a bunch of female wrestlers for the Women's Royal Rumble? They bring in a bunch of nobodies who are, or not nobodies, they bring in a bunch of legends who haven't been there, a bunch of people who haven't been there in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. They've flown in one of the most well-known former divas, Melina, and she's a fan favorite. She was only in the Rumble for a minute.
Only a minute?
For only a minute. Now, I understand now people are going to get thrown out every now and then. It's a Rumble. She was flown in, given all this money for a minute spot. She didn't do a damn thing besides a split. She wasn't pissed. The fans were pissed. Because Melina can actually wrestle. She was the diva who looks good but also can wrestle with no prior wrestling knowledge, from what I understood.
Right.
Understood. Then the problems get worse. As the Women's Rumble goes on, it's just a big hullabaloo. Summer Rae comes out, who hasn't been there in 5 years. They're calling her a legend when she hasn't done anything with her career. She hasn't even won a championship, and they're calling her a legend. People are pissed about that. It's just the fact that they're booking older people to come back instead of trying to book new stars. They're booking themselves in the corner. Then the actual bullshit starts at the end of the Women's Rumble.
Okay.
Ronda Rousey has not been there in 2 years. She was contractually with WWE. She was seen as a WWE superstar. Well, she hasn't been there in 3 years, and the last time she talked about WWE was she was shitting on the fans. This wasn't a promo. This wasn't played up for laughs. This wasn't an act. She was legitimately pissed, and she quit the company because the fans were booing her. The fans were booing her because she was horrible on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
She can go in the ring, but that's because of UFC. But that's also because WWE was overexposing her. We got sick of her quick. They were just shoving her down our throats, saying, oh yeah, this is the next big thing, you know, Ronda Rousey. She's basically a female Lesnar. I'll get to Lesnar, because this is going to be hilarious. So Ronda Rousey comes in.
He started. You got him started.
People left and right. She wins. Moving on. So they get to the men's, and now we're knee deep in the shit because rumor has it that Shane McMahon has been quietly fired from WWE because of what he was pulling at the Royal Rumble.
Can they do that?
Oh yeah, he's still contracted with WWE. His dad owns the company.
Oh, Shane, I thought you said Vince.
No. I mean, if board of directors deem it worthy, I think they can take control away from Vince.
Really?
But that's not going to happen anytime soon because his wife's on the fucking board of directors.
Oh, no.
So, the men's Rumble starts. The odds-on favorite to win this Rumble were Matt Riddle and AJ Styles, because they've been booking AJ Styles like garbage the past couple months. Well, the word is backstage, the reason why Shane was let go from the company this morning, and this is breaking news because this is this morning, Shane McMahon was booking himself to look better in the Rumble than the actual wrestlers getting over. Shane McMahon's not technically a wrestler. He's there when you need a big storyline, like, oh, he's messing with the company, the owner of the company's son, you know, stuff like that.
Except now he's actually messing with the company.
Yeah, he's booking himself. He was booking himself to look better in the Rumble than anybody else. People were pissed. Gets even worse. So, this Rumble, these multi-men matches are supposed to have multiple producers, as they call them, which understandable because there's multiple people in this match. It's 30 men in one match. You're gonna have to get the team together and think what looks good, what looks better. Apparently, Shane was shooting ideas down from Shane Helms the entire night, and he was belittling him in front of everybody.
Amazing.
Shane managed to piss off everybody in the freaking locker room Saturday night and leading up to Saturday because he only wanted to book himself as looking better than everybody else.
Oof.
It keeps going.
It keeps going, huh?
It gets worse. So throughout the entire night, I guess everybody is pissed. Some superstars have actually, I don't know which ones did it, they have come forward and said, without Triple H here, it feels like there's something missing. Because the last 2 to 3 years, Triple H has had something to do with the Royal Rumbles, and they were good. I'll admit, I watched them, I got into them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Triple H not there, there's people admitting that there's something missing. It feels empty, doesn't feel right. And obviously, the stuff with Shane McMahon makes it worse. Then we get to the number 30 spot in the men's, which is Brock Lesnar. Now, here's the thing. Brock Lesnar already had a title match earlier in the night. He lost said title match, so they booked him in the Rumble to win the Rumble to go to WrestleMania. People were pissed. Because what was the point of having him in that title match if you're just going to put him in the Rumble to win it? Now, mind you, going into WrestleMania, we have 2 part-timers who aren't even actually contracted to WWE like the rest of the superstars are, headlining your biggest pay-per-view. Now, I understand why they're doing it because they want the money. They want the buys. Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey are names. The problem, however, goes back to them not booking new stars. Them not writing new stars. It's just a big, giant problem right now with WWE that they can't book anybody. The Royal Rumble, this Royal Rumble was seen from everybody as the worst Royal Rumble of all time.
So this is literally a dark age for the company.
It's literally a dark age for the company. WWE constantly shoots themselves in the foot over these past few months, actually over the last year.
So
it's just
worst case scenario, this self-destructs the entire company and WWE is gone.
Well, here's the thing. WWE is still there, but it's getting worse. But from what I've heard, this past Monday night was okay. It was a good Raw. I don't understand. I don't get. Here's the thing. A lot of people are saying WWE is not professional wrestling anymore. It was never professional wrestling to begin with because Vince always didn't like that word. He decided to call it sports entertainment, which is basically the same fucking thing. If you actually think about it.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, so from what I understand, it's now a case of nepotism and rigging events that has basically rotten the core of that is WWE. To be fair, from what I've seen over the years, WWE has always been corrupt at its core, but it's now starting to get to the point where it's literally melting everything from the inside.
Well, as of right now, the last thing I heard, WWE is in the midst of a major lawsuit because of Vince.
Yeah, because he's screwing up the company in more ways than one.
Oh, the lawsuit's not coming from anywhere in the company. There's another an indie scene wrestling company called Major League Wrestling.
Okay.
Who holds shows all over the U.S. It builds a lot of the stars that you see in AEW now and stuff like that. They have their own show. Apparently, WWE and many of its backstage people that are the higher-ups have gone behind the scenes to underplay Major League Wrestling and pull their stars away from their contracts to go to WWE early. So they want to get the stars in breach of their own contract, pull them over to WWE, pay them more, and then probably release them. Well, Major League Wrestling found out about it because WWE also went behind Major League Wrestling's back, went to their studio, which is Tubi TV, which is also owned by Fox, I believe, to get them off the air and sell them a bill of goods, which basically means you're not going to like Major League Wrestling, get them off the air. If you don't get them off the air, this is the part I read. and I can't believe I'm saying this. Somebody from WWE went to Tubi, went to Fox, and said, if you don't pull Major League Wrestling off the air, we're gonna pull our stuff off the air.
Oh my god.
So now WWE is in the midst of I don't want to call it a monopoly suit, but it is like a breach of contract suit or something along those lines.
I was thinking that maybe this might be a case of like a class action, but like that seems.
I don't know what
This
come
doesn't
of it.
feel like it.
I don't know what comes of it. It's still ongoing. Last thing I saw, but WWE is shooting themselves in the foot right now.
They
a
are.
lot of people.
And technically speaking, this isn't the wrestlers. Again, this
No.
is
It's
this
the
is
backstage.
like it's the backstage drama.
It's
It's
the politics.
the board.
It's the board of directors. It's Vince. I'll give you the 4 names right now. The 4 main names that are the problem within that business: Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, John Laurinaitis, and Nick Khan. Those are that's Vince's entire circle. Are those 3 guys right there?
I mean, it may be a case where it's come to the point now where maybe you should just clean the slate and start from scratch. But like, you can't necessarily do that because not only I don't see any foreseeable way of doing that without, causing some, damage both outside and inside the company. But like, you're getting rid of a legacy and a reputation that's been going on for literally decades now, and
the sad part is, it's Vince's own legacy that he's washing down the drain right now.
yeah, like he's playing himself. He's intentionally screwing up his own company, whether he realizes it or not.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, Vince is a genius. Vince is it. Not when you see perfectly good people going without jobs. And I understand, like I said, I understand that WWE has done these mass firings before, the spring cleaning, as we so call it. That's fine. That's understandable. But then after the firings, they've openly said, whoops.
Oh, hold on a quick second.
Un momento, por favor.
After the firings, they've said if anybody wants to be released from their contract, we'll give it to them and they can go do whatever they want. Mustafa Ali got trending on Twitter because hashtag Free Ali got trending on Twitter. He asked for his release from the company. The company did not grant it. After the company saying they would grant it. As of right now, everybody's seeing AEW. At the beginning, AEW was the alternative to WWE. It's the alternative professional wrestling business. That is not the case anymore. To end this off, everybody is going out and saying AEW is professional wrestling, while WWE is the alternative. And it's slowly tipping the scales. Everything Vince does, every bad publicity move they make, that Inner Circle makes, is just tipping the scale in AEW's favor.
Oh. Okay, so
moving on to game news.
Let's move on there because I don't think there's anything that could really
less
top
angering
that.
things.
There's actually cool things, because we're near, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a fork in the road here.
A fork in the road.
We're in a fork in the road.
Fork in the road?
A fork in the road. As long as we stay on the current path, in my eyes, and I'm glad we're seeing the end of it, the console wars are nearly over.
I
love it.
Okay, you may love that, but I have no faith in it. The
I
console
want-
wars is an eternal struggle, my friend.
The only reason why it's an internal struggle is because we got fanboys on both sides of the fences.
Yep. And if it wasn't for what happened with the launch of the Xbox Series X and the PS5, we wouldn't be talking about this supposed end to a war that's been going
I
on
see
since
this
the
as the end of
80s.
the war, but it's only because the fanboys keep it going. And Sony has recently bought Bungie. Bungie, Alex, if you not remember, but if it clicks in your head as the name you recognize, Bungie is the creator of Destiny 1 and 2.
And
cool.
the original
And the original Halo.
in the original Halo trilogy.
Oh, just the
Damn.
trilogy? I thought it was just
They
Halo
did
1.
no, they did the original trilogy plus Reach.
Oh, okay.
Reach was their last was the last game produced by Bungie.
They've come out. Sony and Bungie has come out and stated that any games that is multi-platform, ergo Destiny, which is on both Xbox and PlayStation, will stay on both Xbox and PlayStation. They will stay multi-platform games. At first, you would think, well, why would they want to do that? It's because of this. The more consoles they get it on, the more people that buy it on both consoles, the more money.
Mhm.
I see that as a good thing because obviously it's on both consoles. That means you don't have to have a PlayStation 4 to play Destiny.
And on a similar note, they're not the only ones that have done this. Microsoft has done it now with Blizzard.
Well, that acquisition is under review by the FTC.
Yeah, but have they supposedly put $60 billion into
So
this?
I actually have the numbers right here. I prepared for this one because this is a cool story. Sony buys Bungie for $3.6 billion. Okay. Microsoft had bought an Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion.
Oh my god.
Both companies are saying the same thing. Sorry, not both. All four companies, because obviously Bungie, Activision, Microsoft, and Sony are all saying the same thing. Any games that is multi-platform, ergo Destiny and Call of Duty and Overwatch, will stay multi-platform, and they will honor every single deal that is put in place.
I can evolve my Quillfish now. I've never seen its evolution.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm
that's
really hyped for that because at first when I heard about Blizzard being bought by Microsoft, I was really worried about Overwatch.
Yeah.
Because that's a game I play a lot in my free time. And I was really worried about that. But hearing this really relieves me. And I also heard that Soldier 76 is going to get a Master Chief skin.
There you go.
I
is
know
amazing.
why this is happening. Well, not fully know it, but
You're joking.
the idea is similar to this. Okay, for Microsoft, it's due to the Xbox Game Pass. They're acquiescing a bunch of these different companies solely for their games so they could add on to their library for the service.
If you tried the Xbox Game Pass, it's wonderful.
For context, why we're being silent right now, Alex here has been playing Legends Arceus while doing the podcast with us, and he finally evolved something that he's been really, really interested in evolving ever since the game came out. We'll be talking about Legends Arceus later on in the podcast.
But yeah, I'm excited for these two buys because not only, especially with Microsoft buying Activision, they don't just get Overwatch. They don't just get Call of Duty. They get the entire back catalog of games, which include Crash, Spyro, a bunch of games Activision has done. So they can definitely bring those old games to the forefront.
They can.
Moving on. Call of Duty and Battlefield are in some hot water right now.
All right.
You're in the hot water.
So this one I don't know much about because concerning video game news, I've only been focusing on stuff that's been happening with Halo Infinite since its launch, and how as of right now, for example, they're starting to fix the store and its prices for cosmetics.
They were in hot water for that too.
Yeah, they were in hot water for that for a good couple of weeks due to how expensive the cosmetics were. But at least now, from what I've seen by playing the game, the prices for these cosmetics, for the most part, have been reasonable.
I played the multiplayer beta, and I noticed a lot of the prices.
Yeah.
Were
the other issue, of course, is online, glitches and stuff that's been happening in the game. I know for a fact that one of the maps in Halo Infinite, Behemoth, that's going to be taken out of the map roster for ranked matches from now on due to either technical issues within the map for ranked play or just
bugs in general, maybe
exploits in the map.
Yeah,
nothing that could break the game, but I think it's more due to the fact that from what a lot of ranked players have been saying, Behemoth just isn't fun to play on ranked Slayer.
So they're just okay. I mean, that's good, but it's just the Sony and Microsoft buying these two companies. Microsoft's gonna have to do a lot of cleaning.
Okay.
With the whole Activision thing.
Yeah. But anyway, we got sidetracked here. So Call of Duty, what's been going on with that?
Some hot water because of the recent crossover pack they did with Attack on Titan. Apparently, don't quote me on this because I only saw one story on it. Apparently, with the new Attack on Titan skins, people have found bugs.
Oh.
Shocking. Bugs in Call of Duty Vanguard.
Never happens ever.
Yeah, right. It's just, and apparently they're setting up for another crossover with Attack on Titan, where it's the Armored Titan as a skin.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't.
How? How do they think of this?
You just slap a skin on a character and it prints
when
money, dude.
When I see Attack on Titan, I don't think Call of Duty. When I see Call of Duty, I don't think of Attack on Titan.
It's obviously it's obviously to get fans of the show to get into the game, but also to promote the fact that, like, you know, the second part of the final season has started airing.
I need to catch up. Dude.
And, like, considering where the manga went near in the end of its run, personally, in my opinion, I hope the anime goes in a different direction, because I know what happens. I know what happens in the manga.
I gotta catch up on the anime. I just kind of fell out of love with the Attack on Titan anime. I watched the first season. I started watching the second season. I kind of fell out of it, and then I heard the controversy that was going on with the third and fourth season, and yeah, it's...
Yeah.
But yeah, Call of Duty Vanguard has been riddled with bugs since release, and it's... I've heard more people are getting into it, which is fine. I'm not going to be picking it up anytime soon. Maybe when it's on sale to try the zombies mode.
And, like, it's understandable. I mean, like, for how long have people complained about, like, these AAA companies releasing games, like, you know, before their deadline or before when they're actually finished, and so you have, like, a bunch of these bugs and glitches and stuff that happen. Like, nobody wants to play an incomplete game. We want to play a game that's finished. And, you know, considering... Like, I'm just going to go into the Sonic franchise for a second. Think about it this way, okay? The Sonic fans are fans for a reason, okay? They love this franchise to death. Whether it be the comics, the video games, or the TV series that have come out.
Now.
Oh, yeah, definitely the movies.
I can't wait for Sonic and Sonic 2, dude. That movie's going to be great.
But, like, think about it this way. A good example would be the hype that led up to Sonic 06.
Oh god, I still want to play that. I still want to.
You guys don't remember that, but I do.
Oh no, okay. I remember. There was, oh my god, they were calling for heads on pitchforks after that game's reviews came out.
Yeah, and like that's like the first one you notice. Okay, that's when you first notice that, like, you know, these companies have to meet deadlines, and of course that's to be expected. But like, nobody wants to play an incomplete game because. Even if bad publicity is good publicity, like, that doesn't necessarily translate to, you know, good sales, if that makes any sense. So, a positive example of this would be the situation, I'm going back to this again with Halo Infinite. Think about it this way, okay? Halo Infinite was originally supposed to come out a year before the end of last year, okay?
Oh.
But they delayed it just because of, you know, the fan reaction to, like, you know, the initial, you know, gameplay trailers, but also because they knew for a fact that they wanted to get the game
right.
Yeah, get the game right.
Done.
Yeah, and so a lot of people want the game to be done and complete and stuff like that.
Now, see, here's the thing, because I can also add on to that, because it goes back to, there's two ways you can mess up a game even at its release where it's not done. There's two ways to do that. One, if the higher-ups are just pushing that deadline like sports games do all the time. Now we're seeing a bunch of backlash with the NFL games, with the FIFA games, with WWE games. A bunch of those sports games are getting backlashes now.
And that's why
they're coming out yearly.
Yeah, that's why I avoid sports games in general, except for, like, Pro Evolution Soccer.
So now, that was even getting backlash.
Yeah, like, but at least with that one, you can mod it to death. And, like, that's kind of the fun of a game like Pro Evolution.
No.
But, like, EA sports games in general, or sports games in general, like, I tried to avoid, like, the plague because I know for a fact that, like, it's a waste of money.
Now, that's one side of the spectrum, where it's the higher-ups pushing the deadlines. On the other hand, we get the Cyberpunk situation where the fans just couldn't wait. And the fans are pushing the developers' buttons on pushing it out as quickly as possible. And that's why we got Cyberpunk in such a sad state in what it was.
I would disagree with Cyberpunk. I think that was a case of overhype. If we're talking about, like, that was with the FNAF Security Breach video game that came out.
I didn't think
that was a case of them bringing it out too early. Okay, we know for a fact that through there are rumors that, like, inside the file and code that, like, DLC is prepared to happen with Security Breach. But, like, the fact of the matter is that, like, you know, Security Breach is a glitched is a glitchy, broken mess.
I've seen people.
It feels like
some...
an unfinished game. The story, I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that the story was changed last minute.
I heard
because in the trailer there's a voice talking and saying you'll burn.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be Burn Trap, but that voice line was never actually used.
Yeah, there's cut dialogue.
Cut storyline altogether. I'm pretty sure.
But I've
actually.
also heard the fact, at least for Cyberpunk, I've heard also the fact that there was people sending death threats to the developers, saying, you know, if you don't get this game out on time, you know.
Yeah, and then I heard there were people who bitched about the game being unfinished, but they wanted a refund but didn't want to give their game back, like their copy back.
I bought it like a couple months after its release, where all the updates came out, so I can play it. But
Fire Monkey.
So Call of Duty is basically in this realm of where they try to release it yearly. You get good games, as in Black Ops 1, and then you get bad games, as in this case of Call of Duty. Now, the minute you didn't play Cold War, did you? Cold War.
I've been trying. I've been trying to get back to the Call of Duty series, but like I never have the time or effort to really like.
Don't touch
get
Cold
the game.
War. Don't.
Why?
As of right now, they are not supporting it.
What do
If
you
you
mean?
go on to the Battle Pass, the Battle Pass literally says, so you can buy the Battle Pass for Cold War, okay? But if you go on to the Battle Pass for the rewards, last time I checked, if you look up in the left-hand corner, I'm pretty sure it's still there, only accessible, only usable for like all the cosmetics in Warzone and Vanguard. They have stopped all support for
Like Cold War itself.
Cold War itself.
Ooh.
I went on a week after Vanguard came out to play Outbreak, which is the zombie mode they were really pushing in that, which I enjoyed Outbreak. That's how I got better at the round-based zombies, was it took me time to kind of get used to everything. I wouldn't have to look over my shoulder every 5 seconds for a zombie. I enjoyed Outbreak. If you went into Outbreak a week after Vanguard, it was riddled with bugs, riddled with glitches. Zombies were not loading in all the way. You were falling through the floor at a single step. I would automatically drop with no zombies around, and it's just riddled. It was riddled with bugs.
Oh
So I see people reporting it. It was a week. I'm like, okay, they'll probably just throw out because there's people still playing it. They probably see.
And they have no support.
No update whatsoever has been released since.
No
then.
bug fixes. They've basically abandoned the game.
Which is bad because at Call of Duty Vanguard launch, it was, I want to say, the most pre-ordered game, but it was also the most shit-on game. A lot of people were shitting on this.
Oh yeah.
From
Even
the
Call of Duty
zombies to the
YouTubers.
multiplayer. Oh yeah, a lot of people were shitting on this. Sad part is I got hyped for the zombies because the zombies maps in that one looked decent. The way they were doing the zombies this time around was awesome. Then I saw gameplay.
Well,
Nope.
apparently they're gonna be, or they already did release round-based mode. So
See,
zombies
the
are
fact
better
that
now.
they had to wait to release round.
Well, they tried something different, and I understand what they were trying, but it just didn't work out well. It shouldn't have been the launch.
But see, what they should have done is they should have done what Cold War did. Release the normal round-based maps alongside the new one, Outbreak.
Yeah, but that you gotta keep in mind that's a lot of work to do.
I mean, they did it for frickin' Vanguard. Or not Vanguard, they did it for Cold War.
Yeah, Outbreak didn't come out right away. You
It
forget.
did.
No, it was like season 2 or 3.
Was it? I'm gonna say it was out at launch. I thought it was out at launch when I played it.
No, not on Cold War.
Of course, again, I'm blacking out a lot of fucking Cold War and Vanguard bullshit. I hope this game dies off. I normally don't say that about a game, but
I just hope it gets like fixed or it dies off.
I hope after this, Microsoft kind of takes a step back and says, "Listen, Activision, you can still come out with Call of Duty games, but since we bought you and we spent all this money on you, you have to take your time. We're not going to make you come out with one yearly." Microsoft has to say, "Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. We're going to take a break for a year or two, then come back. That way you can get your bearings under you. We can help. We're Microsoft. We have more, money at our disposal to help you guys with, so we can make a good game." If I see a Call of Duty this November, I'm not even touching it. Because then we're going to go right back into the same problem. As soon as it drops, Vanguard's going to get forgotten about. Nothing.
Well, I
They're
got
done.
some bad news for you, man, because there's a high chance there's going to be.
Then I'm not touching it. I think I'm done with Call of Duty games. Battlefield 2042 is another hot mess that got released.
Okay, so I have no idea what's going on with this.
A space-time
So there was
distortion seems to be
I don't know if it
forming.
was a glitch or they left it out intentionally. At launch, there was no scoreboard. At launch, there was no scoreboard. Numerous crashes when you tried to party up with people in the game to run a multiplayer. There is no campaign for this one. There is multiplayer only.
Mm-hmm.
They were charging $60 for just multiplayer, which I think a lot of people were pissed about.
As they should be.
And not just that, recently they did a live stream where I don't even know who the 4 high-profile people were. They played multiplayer. They're still having bugs where you're getting stuck under a set of stairs on a multiplayer map.
Oh.
Battlefield 2042 has been out since what? November, December last year? Maybe?
Give or take.
I'll have to recheck that.
Early
and
November, I want to say. Late
They're
November.
having so many bugs. People are leaving Battlefield 2042, going back to the last one, Battlefield 5.
Right.
That has more of a player base than Battlefield 2042. It's getting so bad to the point that they're in talks of making Battlefield 2042 free to play. I will still not be touching that. Because if it's free to play, that means they're going to do one of two things. Microtransactions out the ass. And they're probably still going to take forever to release updates for the game. And they'll probably abandon the game all in general. Going on to our last game thing for the night. Gotham Knights is slated for this year. There was a recent article came out saying it's still on track. We're doing great jobs with it. So it's still slated on to release for this year. I'm excited for Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, I don't think is set in the Arkhamverse, but it is set after the apparent death of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, there's no way he's like actually.
We
dead.
don't know. The trailer literally starts with a video being sent out to the 4 main characters of this game, which is Red Hood, Nightwing, Tim Drake, Robin, and Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl.
Yeah, because it shows the wheelchair, right?
Mm-hmm. It shows she's out of the wheelchair in her Batgirl suit. You can play as all 4 characters. You can go through the story as one character or another. There is online co-op. So say if me and Greg got the game, me and Greg can run around as Red Hood and Nightwing just beating enemies up.
Mm.
The main villain of the game is slated to be the Court of Owls.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
They have not been done in video games before, if I remember correctly.
No, they've only been in the comics.
Yeah, and maybe, we don't know, because this kind of leads into movie news. And maybe the movie, because The Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, by the way, looks amazing in the bat suit.
Yeah,
Aren't people
great.
just talking shit because he's the guy from Twilight?
No, he's
Isn't that
just
the only reason they're talking shit?
A lot of people at first, yeah, until they actually saw him in the bat suit, then a lot of that died down. Like, oh no, he actually looks great in the bat suit. Now people are talking shit because he's not the build of the comics, Bruce Wayne. I'm like, you're not going
They're
to
just
be.
looking to be nitpicky.
And besides, this is like a year 1 Batman also.
I
like,
made the
why?
same mistake with this as I did with the Ben Affleck Batman. I opened my mouth and said, "Oh, this looks bad." Then I actually saw him. I'm like, you know what? Nope, never mind. It looks great.
I know. I think my only complaint about the movie so far is that it's 3 hours long.
Yeah,
It's gonna be 3
well,
hours
they're trying
long.
to. DC's trying to combat Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, but I don't think you should try to combat Spider-Man with this.
But you shouldn't try to outdo something.
So here's the thing,
Yeah.
and that's the problem with DC. DC's been trying to play catch up with their movie universe forever, and it's come back to bite them in the ass,
Nugget.
as we've seen in the past. But I'm excited for this because the Gotham Knights game has my favorite Robin in it as his superhero persona, Jason Todd. Now the trailer starts with a video being sent out to all 4, saying, you know, even though I am dead, you 4 can take my legacy and be heroes with it.
Like, you've trained for this, you know
Yeah,
what to do.
He basically, I want to say he actually says this line. I'll have to rewatch the trailer. He goes, "Be the hero for Gotham that I couldn't be." So I like that. You know, the fact that
Yeah.
you do get bat cycles in the game.
Ooh,
it is
cool.
a giant map. Like I want to say they said it was 2 times the size bigger of the Arkham Knight map, which you get all of Gotham, not just like 3 little subsidiaries. All of Gotham, you can drive around on bat cycles. It's unclear whether the bat cycle or the motorcycles are literally the only mode of transportation, but you play as Jason Todd, which you get his dual pistols. You play as Tim Drake, you get his bow staff. You can play as Nightwing with his scrimmage-sticks, and then obviously you can play the tech route. I think they set up Barbara Gordon as more of the tech.
Oracle.
Yeah,
Wasn't
well,
she
no,
the
she's
eyes?
Batgirl in this. You're playing her as Batgirl.
Ah.
So she's out of the wheelchair in this. Wayne Manor is no longer there. This is why I'm thinking it's taking place in the Arkhamverse, because Wayne Manor is no longer there. If you get the true ending in Batman Arkham Knight, he does the Nightfall Protocol, which is basically blow up the mansion with every single piece of Batman tech in the Batcave. So
Pretty much make Batman like he never existed.
Exactly. And Bruce Wayne is dead as of right now, as of we know. We don't know if maybe the Court of Owls took him, but as of right now, the Batman Bruce Wayne is dead. Batman set up a contingency, because of course he did. He's Batman, where they have the watch, or not the Watchtower. God, that'd be cool if you go to the Watchtower. No, you have the Gotham, not Cathedral, Bell Tower, the Clock Bell Tower as their base of operations in this. The main villains are set up to be the Court of the Owls, but also other Rogues Gallery members are set to come up. In one gameplay trailer, there was a Mr. Freeze side mission you see. Alternate costumes, there could be, we don't know. I hope there is. But other than that, Gotham Knights is set up to be a good game, which is not based on Batman, based on the Bat family, something I kind of always wanted. The thing a lot of people I've noticed are kind of getting uppity about is the fact that Damian Wayne Robin is not in there.
Which makes sense. I mean, at this
He's
point...
too young at this point.
Yeah, at this point...
Well, in the Arkhamverse, you have an established Damian Wayne. They don't even know he's a thing yet.
That's okay.
If it's based on the Arkhamverse, that is.
Yeah.
If Gotham Knights... Because it seems like the way they set up the trailer is right after the events of Arkham Knight, where Batman is no longer there. Jason Todd, Barbara Gordon, Tim Drake, and Nightwing are all that's left of the Bat family. So they're going to keep Gotham safe. My thing is, I'm calling it right now, there is no freaking way Batman is dead in this.
It would be kind of a cop-out if
look at it.
If Bruce was actually, dead.
How else are you going to sell the game, though?
Yeah.
I think if Batman was an unlockable character, then fine, but ain't no way that's going to happen. Well, that's it for video games. We're going to move on to movies.
Well, hold on a second. There is still one more thing.
I'm literally playing it.
I forgot. So let's take a minute to talk about Pokemon Legends of Arceus. I don't think this game is going to get a sequel. Have you not heard what happened?
I know the reason.
Have you not heard what happened?
Oh, what happened?
So the game leaked a week early.
Oh, yeah.
The entire game where you could play it leaked. Somebody leaked the entire game where everybody was downloading it for ROMs.
Oh, okay.
If this does not sell, I don't think we're getting a sequel, which fucking pisses me off.
This
to the
honestly
core.
is my quick little review for this game is this is the first game since the Unova games that got me hooked and addicted to the games.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with Alex here. I'll disagree that we're not going to get another Legends game. Like, from what I've seen so far, even with the leaks, this game looks fun.
I want to, don't get me wrong. I want a sequel. I am with you guys in that band. I want to believe there's going to be a sequel, but as time has shown, when games leaked early, it hurt the sales, and when it hurt the sales, it hurts the chance of a sequel. I want there to be a sequel. I am picking this game up Friday morning as soon as I wake up.
Well, what's stopping me from playing it right now is the fact that I'm doing it. Is that I've conscripted myself to doing a Nuzlocke on Brilliant Diamond, and I haven't finished it yet.
I think I was out of the three of us the first to jump on the fucking hype train for this game, because we were talking about this one
when we first
last
started the
year
podcast.
when they first fucking talked about it. This changes the status quo for Pokemon games.
Yeah.
With everything. I love it. I haven't even played it yet, and I love it. I want to play it. I'm going to play it Friday. All day Friday, as soon as I buy it off the Nintendo store.
Yeah. So, I kind of disagree that even with the game leaking out entirely, I don't think that's going to stop anyone from buying this game. In fact, given Nintendo's history when dealing with, hackers and ROM leakers and stuff like that, I don't think this is going to stop the hype train that this game has built up, and so far it's lived up to the hype. I've heard people complain that the graphics aren't that good.
Isn't it supposed to be a different art style from the original games?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a different art style. People...
To me, it looks great!
Yeah, it looks great. You got like some of the people like complaining about like the technicality side of the game, like the fact that like Pokemon don't have abilities in this game. They've completely revamped the stat blocks for every Pokemon, or how the stat system works in the game. Like, personally speaking, I'm fine with this game. It looks amazing. It looks like it's a total blast to play. I want there to be another Legends.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing I've noticed when it comes to Pokemon fans. Alex, take no offense because you're the exception to this rule. It seems like when they do something for too long, the Pokemon game fans bitch about saying, "Oh, they need to do something new." They finally do something new, and then there's another set of people saying, turns out actually probably the same set of people bitching about doing something new. They're bitching about the new things they're doing, saying how wrong it is.
Well, yeah, but I think that's indicative of like every.
Oh
every
yeah,
fandom.
and it's not just to Pokemon, but I'm like, hold up, you guys were just bitching about how they weren't doing anything new, and they only added in a little bit, and you were bitching about what they added in. Now they're doing a completely brand new style of game that's obviously working for a lot of people. They're enjoying it. Now you're bitching about the new game.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, guys, choose a side. Like, when they announced this, I was fully on this fucking train. When I heard Pokemon meets Breath of the Wild, I will be the first to fucking wave that flag for this game.
Actually, I've kind of noticed this recently with some of the video games I've been playing, that like it's one franchise trying to like copy either Breath of the Wild or Skyrim in that sense. Like,
but it works.
It works so well because like especially with Pokemon, Pokemon fans have been waiting for like an open world game like this for literally years.
This is what they
A
wanted when
case
Sword
where
and
you
Shield.
have to build your own Pokedex, essentially travel the world by yourself. You're not following the same formula as like the mainline games where you have to like go to gym and take down an evil organization. I mean, technically speaking, from this game, you are apparently fighting off against an evil organization, but
which is fine, because here's the thing with the whole evil organization thing. We've seen throughout human history, there's always something evil.
Yeah, they're an antagonistic force, and that's what almost every game has to have.
You can have a slice of life game, but a slice of life where you're just going day by day doing your research will never work for a Pokemon game. You have to have that antagonistic force. You have to have that Team Rocket or Team Plasma.
Well, actually, no. I think Pokemon Snap is the exception to that rule.
That's because it's not a slice of life game. It is a mini game. I will say this right now. Pokemon Snap is just a mini game with fleshed out.
They got the full game treatment.
Exactly. I'm not hating on Pokemon Snap. I personally will never play it because it doesn't appeal to me, but I'm not hating on it. It is literally a mini game that got a full game treatment that sold for $60.
And almost everyone loved it.
Almost. I'm the exception to that rule. But I am excited to see what comes with Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm playing it all day Friday. Alex wants to sit on the phone with me while I play it because he wants to hear me geek out about it.
As for me, once I finish this Nuzlocke, I'm going straight into this game.
Yeah, no, I can't wait.
I
haven't even beat Diamond or Pearl, Shining Diamond yet. I have to fucking play it.
I shouldn't, like, technically speaking, like, comparing Brilliant Diamond to Arceus is sort of, like, I wouldn't say taboo, but, like, you can't really compare the two. Like, between both of these in terms of, like, enjoyment, like, I don't want to say this, but I think this is, like, the first Pokemon game that's, like, legitimately bad.
For which one?
For Brilliant Diamond.
Oh, really? You think it's bad?
Like, it's not the fact that, like, technically the game is good. But it's the fact that it's a complete, almost one-to-one copy of the original Diamond and Pearl, with no elements of Platinum in it.
Besides the new forms for Shaman and Giratina. Those are the only things.
Yeah, they didn't really add a lot.
Oh, wow. See, I never played Platinum.
I mean, they redid the Underground, which is awesome, and I love that. But I will say that's one thing that stopped me from being.
People.
That's one thing that stopped me from being super addicted. It is literally an HD Diamond and Pearl. I love Gen 4 is my all-time favorite, but that's why it stopped me from being so hyped on it. Is it's just Gen 4 on the Switch.
And see if they
I
had
still will go back to it, but
and see if they had advertised it as an HD remake of the original Diamond Pearl with like some elements from like Gen 8.
Yo.
I think people would have been fine with that, but they didn't do that.
See, this was the Pokemon Legends Arceus was the cash money this year for.
this is amazing.
Yeah, this
Or,
was like it not to go up against I think Ilka, the company that did the development for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Like
They did a good
obvious,
job.
like they did an okay job.
I love
But
the
it's
game
clear that they were the opening act
No.
to Arceus.
They wanted to get hype for Arceus up with Shining Diamond. I mean, I don't
Brilliant
get me
Diamond,
wrong.
Shining Pearl.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mix up the names all the time.
I know everyone does. That's the one thing I hate about some of the remakes is they just add something to the regular name.
Now, don't get me wrong. I was geeking out about Diamond and Pearl remakes. When they announced it, you can ask Alex. I was geeking out about it. But even he noticed I was geeking out a little bit more for Arceus. For
Oh yeah, I
Legends.
was more excited for BDSP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
because-
weird.
Because again, Arceus is the main event. This
don't-
was what everyone
I
was
don't
really
get into
actually
Pokemon
waiting
as
for.
heavy as you two do. But when they announced this, and I saw the first gameplay trailer, or the first trailer in general, for this, for Legends, I immediately, not lost it in a bad way where I lost all hype. I got so overblown with hype, I lost my mind. The fact that we were getting essentially a free roam Pokemon game that basically has to do with one of my favorite generations.
Oh yeah, Gen 4 is my all-time favorite.
The fact that they based it with Gen 4, I absolutely love. Like, I'm sorry. This blows Diamond and Pearl remakes out of the water as in terms of presentation, gameplay. And I know essentially they're two different games. But again, as a Pokemon franchise, this blows Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes out of the water. And the fact that people are bitching about the art style is just astounding to me. I'm like, it's supposed to be a different art style. Like, they want it different from the mainstream games. That's what you were supposed to get.
Normally.
So that being said,
Obviously-
maybe attitudes and opinions will change once everyone has played.
Is there
Arceus.
DLC slated for this game or no?
No, as
Not
far
yet.
as we know, no.
No.
I mean, I've noticed Sword and Shield had DLC, which a lot of people were against.
Some people thought that there was going to be a third DLC before Legends came out.
I mean, I
I
don't
don't know
care.
why.
The two DLC we got were amazing. I liked Urshi.
Well, yeah,
I
I
still-
love the
I still
DLCs, but I
remember
just don't
the,
see why they thought there was going to be more.
I
I
ran into
I-
a fucking shiny Chewtle first 5 minutes of playing the Isle of Armor.
I'm
And I was on the phone with him.
I'm still remembering the memes that came out after like the second DLC for Sword and Shield came out. Like a lot of people were expecting the third game to be released. Instead of Pokemon
Gun.
Sword and Shield, it's Pokemon Gun.
Yes! Oh my god, I saw that.
I was waiting for that, but obviously they could never do that.
That's gonna do it. That's gonna do it though for a video game.
Yeah.
portion. Well, actually, no. We got one more thing to cover for Pokemon Legends.
Do we?
Before we move on, I want to know. There's gonna be a new segment on here. Alex's stamp of approval. Does Pokemon Legends get it?
Oh, dude, Pokemon Legends honestly gets 2.
Oh my
The
god, you heard it here first.
the shiny hunting's addictive. The mass outbreaks is a real like little refresher for the game. And honestly, playing through the story, it doesn't feel too handholdy. Honestly, it feels a little wonky at times, but for the most part, I would say the only game I would never give the stamp of approval is the Sun and Moon franchise.
Ooh, oh, you heard it.
Oh, wait.
No, you give it.
Regular Sun and Moon specifically, because Ultra Sun and Moon was Sun and Moon, but more.
Oh,
We should have just gotten Ultra Sun and Moon.
I will disagree with you there. My only complaint for the Sun and Moon games was the fact that the cutscenes were way too long.
Yeah.
I personally think that out of every storyline for the main games, Sun and Moon, besides the original Black and White, probably has like the kind of like the best story. Like,
I don't
Not
know
Ultra
about
Sun,
that.
Ultra Moon, but like the original, or at least one of the better villains. Like Sun and Moon Lucamine was actually kind of terrifying to deal with.
So okay, so you heard it
Yeah,
here
that's
first.
another thing I didn't understand. They really nerfed Luzamine in Ultra Sun and Moon.
Oh really?
Yeah, she was not as big a presence as she was in Sun and Moon.
I guess it kind of makes sense given how Sun and Moon's whole aesthetic was parallel worlds and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon really hinted at the fact that like this Sun and Moon was actually on a different Earth.
But you heard it here first. Pokemon Legends gets the first ever and probably only 2 stamps of approval.
Well, no, I think regular Diamond Pro Platinum would get 2 stamps too, just
Oh.
because the music.
Alex, this is the
I'm
first
sorry.
time you had to
I'm
ruin
sorry.
it.
Like Diamond and Pro, like I said, Gen 4 is
But
my
we're not
favorite,
giving-
and the games
but
are
we're not-
amazing.
We're going over the original Diamond and Pearl. We're going
Well,
over
you're saying the
Legends.
first games, but I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be
in
the first chronologically.
In this new segment,
Chronologically,
the,
though, I
the,
was
the Alex
just saying.
stamps, we're calling it the AS, the
No.
AS.
No,
Okay,
I'm shut that down right now.
all right, let's move
All right,
on.
moving on. We're gonna move on to some movie news. Tom Holland, everyone knows Spider-Man: No Way Home killed it at the box office. Last time I looked, it was sitting at the number 6 highest-grossing film of all time. I'm hoping it gets up there a little further because I kind of want Avatar to go from up here to down here, just a little bit, Maybe the 50th highest most-grossing film of all time. Let's shoot for that. But he's unsure about his Spider-Man, his future as Spider-Man, even though it's set up for 3 more movies at the end of No Way Home. Marvel has already come out and said they want to do 3 more movies with Spider-Man. Tom Holland, there's been numerous reports of Tom Holland jumping back and forth whether he wants to do it or not, or whether he just wants to take time off from acting before he shoots before he works with Marvel on the next
Yeah,
one.
because he's doing Uncharted too.
Yeah,
He's doing Uncharted.
From what I heard, Uncharted and Spider-Man doing both of those back to back was heavily strainful on him, and I believe it. Because going from Spider-Man to Uncharted and then shooting both of those movies, it's got to be draining, like on the body, on the mind.
I mean, it could be a case of him not wanting to be stuck in one character role for his entire career.
Which is also understandable. I just would like to know what's going on. I mean, if he doesn't want to play Spider-Man more, fine. Because we can take the high school Spider-Man. Obviously, it sets up him going to college and him moving on with his life at the end of the events of No Way Home. We can go from kid Spider-Man to mid-teenage / 20-year-old Spider-Man where he's in college. Get those adventures, and then if that actor doesn't want to stay around, we can get an adult Spider-Man. And it's perfectly set up to do this.
Yeah.
So that way, if Tom Holland doesn't want to return, we get a new actor in. But one of the other major stories coming out of that, Tom Holland was pushing for the return. Well, hold on, time out. Before we go any further, if you
I know what
haven't
you're going
seen
to talk about.
No Way Home, have you seen it yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. If anybody listening to this has not freaking seen Spider-Man No Way Home, shut this the fuck off and go watch it, because it is a goddamn masterpiece. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Marvel movies are ruining the movie industry. No, Marvel movies are putting people back in the seats for freaking movie industries, and one industry that desperately needs asses in seats. If you haven't seen it, Tom Holland was heavily pushing the return for Andrew and Toby for this movie. He, I guess, was really, really hard pushing for this. Like, he wanted them in this movie. Because, in actuality, it kind of makes sense. If you're dealing with a multiverse full of Spider-Man villains, why not have 2 other Spider-Men show up? Now, I would have been happy if they wanted to stick with multiversal Spider-Man, but not do the Andrew and Toby Peter Parker Spider-Man. They could have gone a totally different way, and I still would have been happy. They could have brought in Miles Morales, and they could have brought in Spider-Gwen. 2 other Spider people that have been heavily getting more famous with these recent years. And Spider-Gwen actually has my second favorite costume. I love the Spider-Gwen costume. I think it looks
does look
fantastic.
dope.
It looks fantastic. If they didn't want to do the Toby and Andrew return, they could have done Miles and Gwen Stacy, Spider people. But no, as we all seen with movies, they did that return, which was fan-freaking-tastic. Oh my god. The chemistry, even though they weren't on screen together for long, the chemistry these 3 have was fan-freaking-tastic. This movie was a perfect Spider-Man movie in my eyes. Everything that was happening to Peter, the lessons he was learning, the stuff he learned from the other Spider-Man. One of my most choked up scenes in this movie, again, heavy spoilers, was right after a certain character dies.
Oh, dude, we're doing spoilers, so...
Oh, okay, sorry.
Aunt
right
May.
after
Aunt
right
May,
after
she
Aunt May
kicks
dies.
the bucket instead of Uncle Ben, but, like, it's implied that with Tom Holland's Peter,
There
Uncle
was
Ben
no Uncle
already
Ben.
died. But
Was
what's... Okay, there was an Uncle Ben for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but he died.
Okay.
And, in fact, it's, like, from what I remember watching the Homecoming Spider-Man film, as well as, like, Spider-Man's first appearance in the MCU, for the most part, his origin as Peter Parker and Spider-Man is similar to like the other Peters. Like Uncle Ben still dies, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think the difference is that unlike with the other Peters, Uncle Ben never gave this Peter the
great power.
comes great responsibility, and instead
Which
Aunt
I'm
May
okay
does
with.
it.
I'm okay with. We've seen that done so many times within the comics, within TV shows. They changed it up, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But after Aunt May dies, Peter's sitting on the roof of the school, and he is contemplating what to do next. Like he lost one of his last relatives in this fucking world.
He was being hunted by the police, under
Hunted by the
suspicion
villains?
of hunted by the villains, hunted by the police, under suspicion that he may have killed Aunt May and destroyed an entire building.
Ruined Happy's life because now the police are after Happy.
Yeah, like you have this scene where he has like for, it happens with every Spider-Man film. Like at one point, something is just gonna
For those people,
gonna like break them,
for those
and they go
people-
to a high building to contemplate what their next action is and to process what has happened.
For those people that say Tom Holland is not the perfect Peter Parker, fine. Everybody has their preferences. Everyone's saying he's not the good Spider-Man, fine. Again, everybody has their preferences. I personally think Tom Holland does a wonderful job at both roles.
And so
But this scene right here, the scene that we're talking about where he is almost bawling his eyes out, sitting there quietly as he's looking over this city after these tragic events happen, after he's just trying to save people without having to kill somebody.
And so you have him, and like for this Peter, it's his high school. Now remember what started this was his own mistake. He ruined the spell that Strange was making in order to erase everyone's memories, and he's the reason why the villains and other people have been coming in from the rest of the multiverse. But you gotta remember that this guy is still technically a teenager. He watched his only living relative and parental guardian die in front of him.
This Peter Parker has lost
he's
a lot.
He's lost so much, and he's so vulnerable, and he's kind of at the tipping point where he can't save everyone. He may actually have to kill these guys, and he doesn't want to do that because that will compromise his morals. And he's in a very dark place, and who would show up but his best friend and his girlfriend show up, and they just come to him. They sit down with him and they hold him, and then he just starts crying.
Such a wonderful scene without even any words either.
It's a visceral, guttural cry.
God, he just breaks down and he's sitting there. You gotta wonder at that point in that character's life, not the actor, the character, what's running through his head, because he just lost his only living relative in that crazy world full of superheroes and villains. Yes, he has his best friend and his girlfriend still, but he doesn't know what's gonna happen to them if he continues to trying to save these guys without killing them.
And the problem is he knows for a fact that if he allows this to keep happening, not only will Goblin ruin his life, but he's gonna harm more people. And he's already convinced 4 out of the 6 villains to continue on with not only staying in this reality but causing even more destruction. And it's all his fault.
It's just, and I understand he's trying to make this choice of he wants to save them. He doesn't want to kill them. He wants to save them, send them back to their Earth where they will be fine. It's such a heartbreaking scene, and who shows up to pull him out of this funk? Not just his friend, not just his girlfriend, but his alternate universe selves.
Who have had a similar experience and are there to not only help him go through this, but to also show him he's not alone.
Here's where I really love the parallels between the MCU Peter versus the other two Peters. Now, the MCU Peter hasn't really killed a villain. Tobey Maguire has. Not on purpose.
The amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, he technically didn't kill anyone in his films. You could argue that the only one that died in his films.
The Green Goblin.
No, it was Gwen. For Andrew Garfield.
But see, here's the thing. But that's what I'm getting at.
In terms of Tobey's case, he did cause the death of both Goblin and and Doc
Doc
Ock. And then Venom also, but that's sort of
That's murky water.
yeah,
Eddie
that's
Brock was
murky
the idiot
water.
to jump in the bomb anyways.
Like, and
he
then,
tried to
like-
save him.
and then a lot of people assume that he killed Sandman as well, but like
No.
I personally speaking, in my case, I don't think he murdered him in Spider-Man 3. I don't think he did
No,
murder
he didn't.
him.
Because did you see what happened? Because Flint had a change of heart, and he was starting to help Peter with Venom towards the end of the movie,
Yeah.
along with Harry Osborn. But then, again, Flint had a change of heart. He just wanted to be with his daughter, so he went off to go be with his daughter. And as we assumed that Sandman wasn't really a villain anymore because he wasn't doing anything bad. So, because obviously Spider-Man just let him go. But see, here's the thing: Tobey and Andrew have two parallels to the MCU, Peter. The Tobey Spider-Man has that parallel of killing the villains or the villains dying on their side.
Yeah, like
And-
his villains died from their own fault.
Because Aunt May is still alive, as we know of, in that world.
Yeah, and I forget what the deal was with Andrew Garfield's villains. They were either beaten.
Doc Connors lived,
Yeah, and
but that version of the Lizard was taken before he was cured.
yeah.
And then Electro kind of... No, Spider-Man did outright kill Electro because he overloaded the system when Electro tried to absorb too much energy. And,
Oh, right.
Boom.
So, in any case, what we're trying to get at is that, like, all three Spider-Men have experienced loss in one form or another, and they have killed their respective villains.
With Toby being on the side of losing the villains, killing, either by indirect means or direct means, and then the Andrew is losing the loved one, losing Gwen.
And then directly causing the murder for some of
Because
these villains.
as we see in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I know Alex hasn't watched it, after the death of Gwen Stacy, that was it. Like, Andrew Garfield took off the mask, like, the Andrew Garfield version of Spider-Man, took off the mask for a good couple of months.
And then he came back to it, and
And
even
what
then,
came
like,
back to it, well, hold on. The real sweet part to this, what made him come back to it is there was a scene of the Rhino rampaging through New York City.
Mhm.
And it's not the mutant version of the Rhino. It's not a guy with super strength. It's a guy in armor.
Yeah, I think that was the original, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was the second one. The end of the second. No, the original Rhino was like a mutant. Like,
Oh, he was a mutant?
it-
I thought it was always
yeah.
in a mech suit thing.
No, this guy was big and had super strength.
I will say this, though, that mech suit was awesome.
Yes,
and,
it was!
and it sucks that he was only in the film for the last 2 minutes.
So, the real heartwarming part about what made the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man put back on the mask was he saw the news and then he saw a kid run up to Rhino. Just a normal kid in a Spider-Man costume. Cops weren't trying to pull the kid back. My favorite part was Andrew Garfield Spider-Man landed on the cop car, flips off the cop car, walks up to the kid, pats the kid on the head, and he goes, "Hey, I need to thank you for sticking your neck out while I was away." It was so heartwarming too. Oh my god.
Yeah, but then come this film, and he admits that, like, yeah, no, he was in a dark place for a long time, and he stopped pulling punches.
So as we don't know, Rhino could be dead.
Like, the thing to take from this is that, like, they're both different paths that Tom Holland's Peter could take. Where in one scenario, he doesn't directly murder his villains, but he kind of regrets the actions, like the inaction that he did to not prevent the deaths from happening.
We get a parallel to that later in the movie.
And then with Andrew's case, not only does he regret that he stopped pulling punches, but he's the dark side, the one where if Peter stops holding back, he could solve the problem, but he would be killing his villains.
And also, I think he even says in the movie, the Andrew Garfield Peter Parker had said, he still lives with that regret of not saving Gwen.
Yeah, and it's
still eating away at him. So
and it's a
him
clear form of PTSD.
And him getting his sort of redemption in the final battle or saving MJ.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can we please take a second to talk about the acting of Andrew Garfield? A lot of people were shitting on him for Spider-Man. Not for this movie, but in the past. The acting Andrew Garfield was giving in this fucking movie was 110%.
It's a redemption. It's clearly a redemption.
Now there's rumors we could be getting Amazing Spider-Man 3 because of it, and this could be the one where he's dealing with Venom.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Moving on. No Way Home, go watch it. Seriously.
Yeah, we could gush about it for a while now, but
I gotta
it's been
rewatch
out for like a month or two.
I have not talked
now.
about this on TikTok, on my TikTok page, because I wanted everybody to go see it. I think as of right now, I'm not gonna say, you know what, screw it. If you haven't seen it by now, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it should have been seen. I saw it in theaters. Alex saw it in theaters with me. I think, Greg, you saw it in theaters, did you?
Oh yeah, I saw it
When-
like a couple days after it came out. Yeah. Yeah.
The comic book accurate suit that Tom Holland gets at the end is
Yeah.
like,
Beautiful.
there's actually somebody came out with a reason for that too, because when he wished that nobody would recognize Peter Parker anymore,
Yeah, he doesn't have Stark's
he
technology.
got locked out of the Stark suit because even the Stark suit wasn't recognizing Peter Parker.
I don't know. I think in that case, actually, I don't know if that was the
don't
case.
know.
I think wasn't it like more over the damage, the damage to the suit was like too much and it couldn't repair
Well, no,
itself.
because he had that integrated suit where he had a little bit of the nanotech integrated with a normal suit. So then, because the nanotech would kind of go with his comms.
Yeah.
And his like overhead. So now we get back to basic Spider-Man. He's making his own tech. He's making his own web fluids.
Though that does kind of bring up a problem concerning how the spell worked. A lot of people have like speculated on what the spell actually did, because when you really start to think about it, some things don't really add up with how it resolved issues in the story.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta watch the film again, but I think there was like one plot hole that was left behind due to what the spell did. I think a big one would be the fact that like a Venom symbiote has stayed in the MCU reality, and if that was the case, then the spell shouldn't have allowed that to happen. Like, because technically speaking, that Venom symbiote is a part of Venom, and he was brought into the reality with Eddie because, like, you know, due to association with Spider-Man in
They
general.
didn't do anything with that besides an end credit scene.
And even then, that's even more crazier when you think about it, because technically speaking, that version of Eddie and Venom have never met a Peter Parker or a Spider-Man in their own reality. So the fact that they were brought into the MCU reality is strange. So that kind of brings up the question: if we get a Venom 3, will there be another Spider-Man showing up?
There's rumors that Venom 3 is going to tie in with the Andrew Garfield Spider-Verse. And that they just haven't seen them or haven't heard any stories. Because Venom 1 could potentially take place before the events of the Amazing Spider-Man 1 where he gets his powers.
Yeah.
And obviously Venom 2, because we've seen in the Morbius trailer, there is a spray paint of Spider-Man that says Murderer. And as we've seen and heard in Spider-Man No Way Home, Andrew Garfield stopped pulling his punches when it becomes Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, I gotta watch the film again. I really do.
I do. It was such a
It's
wonderful
between.
movie.
Let's see. If we're going to be talking about like TV series and stuff like that, the new Halo series.
Ooh.
The trailer dropped
I
this
have
week.
not watched that. You're the only one taking helm on this one.
Okay,
buddy.
I'll
I
be
did
straight up.
hear. Oh, hold on. Before you go on, I did hear a lot of people were shitting on it because there was like a Ford Escape Trailblazer vehicle in the fucking
I will have to watch that again because I don't remember seeing that.
or some
But,
kind of
like-
modern vehicle.
But like, I like the trailer. The series is going to premiere on Paramount Plus. So if you don't have that streaming platform
I get that every once
and
in a
you
while.
want to see the show, well, you're going to have to get that. That being said, from the looks, the trailer looks amazing. Okay, not only does the CG for like the Covenant look great, but the costumes, the props, props that like the actors are using to look like the Spartans, the Master Chief himself, that looks good. That looks really good.
I have noticed when it comes to these TV series, the CGI is a little lackluster because of the budget.
Yeah, I can honestly say that they only show one Covenant, and it's a Sangheili Elite, and he looks good,
Does
like really good. And so does the energy sword that he's carrying, also. Now, from the way that the story is set up, it seems to be taking place at the beginning of the Halo series, like during the time when if you guys don't know about the timeline of Halo, this is nearing the fact that like the insurrectionists are still a problem that the UNSC has to deal with, but this is also at the point in time where the Covenant have first showed up. This is after the fall of Reach. So this is, I wouldn't say a year one Master Chief, but this is obviously before Halo Combat evolved.
Yeah.
It's him with the new AI Cortana, and obviously, although they're changing up the story and setting it up where Chief might rebel from the UNSC in search of the Halo.
Ooh.
The fact of the matter is they've presented it, at least with the trailer, in such a way that it's interesting. It looks like they're doing their damnedest to represent the source material in an honorable way.
That's good. 'Cause
That being said, there are some problems with it.
Already? The show's not even out yet.
Not yet. The fact of the matter is, people have associated the Chief with his game actor. I'm blanking on the name. I
Oh
keep
yeah, okay, I know what you're
Like,
talking about. This
so,
a little bit in the
like,
car.
the Chief doesn't have his normal voice actor for the series, and I don't think that's a problem. It's not, the voice is doing well enough. It's not iconic as the original voice actor, and we don't know why the original voice actor isn't in for the game, though. Judging from the way that he looks, the guy does look like he's in his 50s and 60s, so maybe maybe the voice itself, well, maybe he's having a tougher time like doing the voice now, where he can't like consistently do it now for like a TV series, or maybe they just wanted a different voice actor. Again, this looks like a year one sort of like Halo situation. The other problem that we've had here is that like, or at least from what the trailer has shown, is that like there is a human in the Covenant. Yeah, like an actual human being that's helping the Covenant in the beginning stages of the war, and that doesn't seem right in a fundamental level because, as you would know by playing the games and reading the source material, the Covenant hate humanity with a passion. Like right from the get-go, they see humanity as a scum that needs to be wiped off the face of the galaxy, just due to the fact that they appear to be heretical in the Covenant's eyes.
Now I have a question. I probably should ask this when you were going over the CGI. Is it completely CGI or is it live action?
It's live action with CGI.
Obviously,
the Covenant are CGI,
yeah.
but almost everything that was shown from the trailer looks live action.
Okay, I wasn't
completely
sure
live action.
If it was a CGI series, which is because a lot of series like that are getting off the ground right now.
I
mean, I don't mind if it was CGI, but I think it would be cooler as live action.
Yeah. So with that being said, Halo, the series, is going to be premiering on Paramount Plus sometime in March, like the beginning of March. There is one more thing that is happening tonight, and that is the 25th season of South Park is airing tonight.
Have you watched the Pandemic Special, the two-parter?
Yes.
Okay, so me and Alex watched that. That did not go the way I thought it was going to go.
Okay, do you want to do a discussion on that?
Yeah, we're going to do a little discussion on that.
In a second.
So...
Okay, here we go.
The post-pandemic special, me and Alex watched the first part with a couple of friends of ours, and we watched the second part when he spent the weekend one night at my house. I thought for sure throughout that entire thing, Cartman was just fucking with Kyle.
Actually, that's the fun thing about it.
I thought he was just pulling fucking Kyle's leg throughout that entire thing.
Only to show that, he actually loved his wife and everything.
Only to get fucked up. This is what pissed me off about the... Like, don't get me wrong, this two-part special was amazing. I got laughs out of that. I thought it was funny. My favorite running gag in those two-parters was the Amazon. The Alexa, yeah.
Amazon Alexa.
Yeah, the Alexa. That was my favorite running joke, acting like Stan's wife, and it was really just a hologram. What pissed me off was Cartman's endgame. After Cartman's like, okay, you know what, screw it, we'll change the future. And he promised his wife and kids he'll be back. No matter how the future changes, they'll always be there.
They'll find each other in the timeline.
Such a heartwarming thing for Cartman, of all people. He got his happy ending. But at the cost of the entire world suffering with the COVID and the post-COVID. Only for his friends to be the world's biggest dicks to go back because they weren't happy, to change the fucking timeline, to go back and now to see Eric Cartman sitting on the side of the road with a fucking piece of cardboard.
Well, okay, it's where at this point the context matters. Okay, so for those that haven't seen the special, spoilers ahead, but you have but like I suggest watching both of them. So here's the thing about it. Kenny originally wanted to go back in time in order to fix his friends' relationship with each other because he feels that the breaking up of his friendship between the four boys is what caused the pandemic to turn the future into such a shitty place. And he's not technically wrong, though I think he's looking at it too narrowly. The world of South Park in the future, or at least with these two specials, shows that America isn't really a superpower anymore. The elderly are being kept alive into, like, at a point where, you know, death is the preferable option. They don't want to live this long, and yet we're keeping them alive this long. AI has developed to the point where it's practically self-aware, but sort of like in like a slave, like, sort of state where they're just being completely bitchy. Like, here's the thing with the Amazon Alexa, okay?
Like,
It's
that was my favorite
programmed.
joke.
It's programmed to be
a
like
wife, pretty
it's
much.
programmed. Yeah, it's programmed to be a wife. And when you really think about it, it's funny that Stan essentially married his mom because Alexa is pretty much like Sharon in all but appearance, except for the fact that, like, you know, it's programmed to advertise Amazon products and try to get Stan to buy more stuff, and if he doesn't comply with what she says, she goes fucking ballistic on him.
Oh
But
my god, I didn't realize that till now.
yeah, so here's the fucked up thing about it, okay? Kenny wanted to go back in time to fix his friendship and try to prevent the pandemic from happening. But as the second part of the special shows, that was never going to be an issue because apparently Randy fucking a pangolin and creating the virus in the first place is a universal constant.
Yes, I forgot. No matter how many times you go back and change it, at that part is
I always fuck that.
And
pangolin.
apparently, as like a callback to Endgame, Kenny
That's what
went
he
back.
says.
Kenny apparently went back in time millions of times to prevent this from happening, and Randy always fucks the pangolin.
So the result of Cartman actually being a decent person when he grows up.
Can I just point out,
And
John?
that was the whole
The
point.
only, like, in that timeline, everyone else suffered, but Cartman had a happy life. And then it was the reverse in the timeline we got.
And here's the situation with that, okay? The only reason why Cartman has that like specific future is because he got out of the toxic friendship that was between him, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny, okay? Despite them being best friends in the show, it's clear that they're in a very toxic like friendship
yeah.
where no one wants to be like friends with each other, but no one wants to like get out of the scenario. Except, however, in this one instance, Cartman did get out of the friendship, and he ends up having a better life because of it. But here's the point. Okay, the point of the second part of the special was the fact that, like, we can't change the fact that the pandemic happens. It will always happen. Again, it's a universal constant that Randy fucks a pangolin in China with Mickey Mouse.
It is inevitable.
Yeah, it is inevitable that he will always fuck a fucking animal and create the COVID. Anyway.
Wait a minute. Time out. Before you go further, can we just say Stan Marsh is a more effective villain than Thanos?
We'll get to Stan's issue in a second. But, like, here's the thing, okay? You can't change the past, but the point of going back in time isn't to change the past, it's to change how people react to the event. Okay? So that's how they fix the issue, by just changing how people react to the pandemic. And that's how the future turns into what it is by the end of the second part of the special. However, yes, although Cartman did have a pretty good life with a loving family and whatnot, him being a homeless alcoholic mess at the end of the second special, although seems like a gut punch to us who have seen what his other version had done to redeem himself as a character, at the end of the day, he fucking deserves it. Like, him as a kid was a fucking monster.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not arguing that fact.
And
he was a horrible person.
And here's the thing,
as a
okay?
kid.
When he leaves Yentl at the end of it, like the reason why he doesn't want to go back in time is because he knows for a fact that, like, this was his one shot at a happy life. He knows that if they change history, like, he'll lose the shot forever. And Yentl wants to convince her husband that, like, no, they'll find each other at some point. Like you can't leave that up to fate. You got to leave that up to chance.
I just thought of something.
Yeah. So anyway,
Hold on, before you go any further, I just thought of something. What if Cartman does meeting his wife is part of that destiny? It's part of that inevitable. It's one of those inevitable constants that's gonna happen throughout any timeline. Doesn't mean she's gonna be the same person. What if that version of his wife is also a crack whore?
yeah, like
The kids at this point will not exist.
that's speculation. But like at the end of the day, Cartman fucking deserves it. And if we're being completely honest here, he's already screwed his future self on more than one occasion already.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget the first time he did it, his future self actually did go back in time after developing time travel in his future and trying to convince his younger self that, yeah, this was the day that he decided to become a better kid. And you want to know what Kid Cartman does at the end of that episode?
I remember.
He tells his future self to fuck off. Says, I'm going to be an asshole the rest of my life. You can go suck my dick. Fuck off. And sure enough, as soon as he leaves, his future self morphs into a fat alcoholic mess who is who's either a plumber or a technician by trade. Auto body salesman by trade. And that version of him apparently dies off at some point.
So
But then here comes the second one. Because remember, he didn't screw up his future self. He screwed up a future version of himself from a month in the future when the Wii came out. You want to remember how that happened?
Oh god.
He freezes himself in time, ends up 500 years in the future, and then screws up time even more by using a prank phone call that can call past phones.
At this point, if they do one more episode with the a future Cartman, it best fucking
Cartman has got to be the Terminator at this point.
no, that's
So-
yes, but if they do one more episode where Cartman's future self does show up in a manner of way, it best fucking better be a parody of either Spider-Man No Way Home or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So I swear to fucking God, there's too many Cartmans.
So here's the thing, okay? Does it suck that Cartman loses his wife and loving family?
Absolutely.
It does. Do you think I wanted that to happen? No.
Yes.
He deserves that to happen. Okay? He deserves that horrible future for himself because at the end of the day, he's an asshole.
Yeah, but everybody can be redeemed though, because we go to this long line of if everybody.
He
can be
killed
redeemed.
his father and his half mother, fed and basically turned them into chili, and then fed it to his half brother.
Wait a minute. No,
No.
that was Scott Malkinson's parents.
That's Scott Tenorman.
Or
Scott Tenorman, yeah.
Yeah, and who is his father? Scott Tenorman's father.
No.
Huh?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
You guys
Time out.
never saw 200?
No.
Okay, so we're going to get off to a tangent here with the South Park discussion. Episodes 200, 201. Long story short, the celebrities that have been mocked and parodied in South Park throughout the years, they've decided they've had enough and want to sue for a class action lawsuit against the entire town.
This is where Mecha Streisand comes in.
back.
Oh
Yeah,
my
comes
God.
back. And what happens after, during the second part? Cartman gets kidnapped by the Gingers, and Scott Tenorman, who's now the leader of the Gingers. And guess what happens, or what's revealed at near the end of the episode? Scott Tenorman reveals to Cartman that Cartman killed his father. After years of people just believing that Mrs. Cartman was a hermaphrodite. No. He killed his father, ground him up into chili, and fed it to his half-brother. And it's supposed to be treated like a joke. Yeah. A dark joke,
No.
but a joke.
That's impossible.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
I gotta rewatch that. I don't fucking. Oh my God.
Oh my
that's
God.
Insane.
So anyway, Cartman deserves that future. Cartman deserves that future. It fucking sucks. I hope that since this is apparently part of a 6-part deal that Paramount Plus has with South Park,
Paramount
we'll
offered.
be continuing to go further into this future timeline and see what happens.
Paramount offered 5 more ordered 5
Four more specials.
Four more specials. I think 3 more seasons and fucking 2 more video games.
Okay, so now that we got past Cartman, let's talk about Stan. Stan is definitively the main character of these 2 specials.
Well, yeah, it mostly focuses around Stan through the entire thing.
Yeah, it not only focuses on him going back to South Park and trying to fix the mess that was caused by the pandemic, but also giving himself some closure with his estranged father. Now, if you haven't watched the special, here's the short of it. He got sick and tired of Randy's marijuana farms,
Hold
so
on.
what
You didn't
happened?
say it right. I gotta say it right. No, sorry.
Integrity Farms.
Integrity Farms.
Put a little back integrity back in your weed.
Anyway, he gets sick and tired. His mom wants to divorce Randy. Randy is clearly in denial about this, living, just wanting to, like, you know, continue the business forever and stuff like that. He burns the farm down, and what happens because of it? Shelly burns with the barn and the farm. I would go
Shelley
further
and
into
Sharon.
it, but that's the short of it.
Wait, did the mother die in the barn?
No, Sharon kills herself after the funeral.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, yeah, that's
she
right.
kills
I
herself
forgot.
after.
Sorry. Oh my god, it's been forever since we saw that one.
Yeah. So anyway, Stan is the de facto main character, as well as Kyle and Cartman.
Kenny gets the shaft in this. I just thought of that.
Oh, he came out on top though. He was a fucking millionaire before he died. And here's the
Oh, yeah.
here's the sad thing about Kenny's
But no one
Kenny's
was
fate.
around to say, "Oh my god, they killed Kenny."
Technically Kyle alludes to that, but like Stan's having none of that. Like, you know how the joke goes, "Oh my god, they killed Kenny, you bastards." Stan doesn't do that. He refuses to do that joke.
One of my favorite like self-aware jokes in all of South Park was the smoking episode where Kyle's like, "Dude, would you just admit to it? Because I swear to God, this is gonna get totally blown out of hand, and we're all gonna step forward and say what we learned from today, and I just don't want to go through that again." The entire episode goes through his plan,
No.
only to get to the end of the episode. He goes, "See, what I've learned today," stops for a second, looks back at Stan and goes, "See, I told you this was
No,
gonna
I
happen."
love that bit because after he goes on to that speech about how the fact that like they're following a trend and they should just stop, he's like Cartman or Stan are like, okay, it's either we do that or we go through a week of detention, and then immediately smash cuts to them with the mob about to like pitchfork them in the smoking company, and then Kyle is like, okay, you want to know what I learned today? And then he turns back to the group and says, "God damn it."
He's like, "God damn it, see, I told you this was gonna happen." Stan's like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah. So anyway, Kenny, the sad thing about Kenny in his future is the fact that he was trying to fix his broken friendship with the other guys, and trying to fix the pandemic. But the problem with that is, of course, the fact that Randy causing the pandemic is a universal constant. He can't change it. And technically speaking, he doesn't die by, like, it's revealed that, like, he technically died due to the original COVID strain. He didn't die from, like, any new virus or anything like that.
Oh, but they...
He caught the original COVID virus and then died because of it. And considering the fact that, like, his mother, who you remember, is the reason why he keeps coming back to life, since he's technically kind of Cthulhu spawn, since she underwent menopause, he can't be reborn.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
We would have had a kid Kenny in the future.
No,
he would have been a fully grown man coming out of there.
Actually, no. He
No,
comes
they
out as a
didn't.
baby and then immediately grows up to his original age. But since Shelly, I want to think her name is, since she underwent menopause, that
No,
option
Shelly
is
is
gone.
Stan's sister. I forgot what.
No, not Shelly. Sorry, I forget what her name is. But
They don't
anyway,
really go into it.
ever since she went through menopause, Kenny can't be reborn, and he kind of has the worst fate out of the entire cast when you really consider how he rebirths himself. Since his mother is the conduit that causes his rebirth to happen, since she can't do that anymore, he's stuck in a limbo state where he can't go to heaven or hell.
Isn't he in
and he can't
Cthulhu's
be
realm?
No,
I thought he goes.
he's in a state of purgatory for, like, when you really get down to it. It's a horrible fate for that version of Kenny.
But
Anyway.
seriously, South Park in itself hitting 25 seasons in the year 2022 is astounding. A lot of people kind of right now was like, "Oh, it's vulgar." It's just they have some smart fucking humor in that.
Yeah.
Like it's stretching. Like yeah, you can argue the first couple beginning seasons is just vulgar humor, but as the seasons go on, Matt Stone and Trey Parker get fucking smart with their comedy.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to see that they're thriving off of this. I forgot the amount, but Paramount wanted like 3 more seasons, like 4 more specials, and like 2 or 3 more games to come out of this deal.
Yep.
But moving on, we're gonna move into some sad DC news or good DC news, however you want to pitch it. The Flash movie is apparently resetting the status quo
Again.
again. The Flash movie is set to reset the status quo, as in delete the Snyder movies from the DCEU, as if Batman and Superman: Dawn of Justice, Man of Steel, and the Justice League movie had never happened. The rumors are that the Supergirl and the Batgirl coming out of this are going to be the Superman and Batman of this universe from now on. And yeah, and this is nothing against the characters, nothing against the actors, but you gotta have a Superman.
Like, I rather it stay consistent.
It's
Like-
not. They're getting rid of Henry Cavill's Superman. The Flash movie will be the last time we see Batfleck in the role. We are getting the Michael Keaton Batman and a Batgirl. We're getting a Batgirl TV show where it's loosely following Barbara Gordon.
Probably for the best, because that
apparently-
other one is just awful.
But apparently Barbara Gordon is going to be the new Batman of the universe, setting her up to be probably Batwoman. Or just staying as Batgirl. Supergirl will be the Kryptonian for this next iteration of the DCEU. As of right now, Ezra Miller's staying on as the Flash, and the Shazam is not changing. But apparently there's going to be an end credit scene where the Flash, Shazam, Supergirl, and Batgirl are going to be getting together and make it this Earth's Justice League. I am okay with this, but not okay with this, because I think and especially the controversy that it's going around Joss Whedon right now with the whole Justice League situation.
Yeah, given the reception of how well the Snyder Cut did, the fact that they're just going to get rid of it and restart everything from scratch, that's not good.
No. Have you heard about the controversy surrounding Joss Whedon?
No, tell me.
So, okay. Apparently one of the controversies surrounding Joss Whedon has to do with Gal Gadot, which is Zack Snyder's wife.
Okay.
Apparently on set of Justice League, as they were doing reshoots for the Joss Whedon / Warner Brothers version, there was a scene where they were supposed to make a sexual innuendo or something like that involving the Flash and Wonder Woman. Now, mind you, Wonder Woman is a not a 14-year-old, wow, a fucking 14,000-year-old woman, or a 1,400-year-old woman who still looks like the age of a 30-year-old woman.
You gotta love the immortality, am
Yeah,
I
right? And this version of Flash is supposed to be 22 to 23 years old. Obviously not a fully grown adult, but in that realm. Now, the thing is, it was supposed to be a Flash making a sexual innuendo. The way he made it, Gal Gadot didn't like that. So she asked if we can change the script somehow, which is understandable. It's a comic book movie. You're not supposed to have too many of those in the comic book movies. Obviously, you can have like some hidden ones for adults, but like the ones that are blatantly obvious are just wrong in like that kind of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Gal Gadot brought it to Joss Whedon and said, I kind of want this changed. This doesn't feel right, which is understandable. Joss Whedon backed off, and the rumors said he looked at it and said, you either do this scene the way I wrote it out, or you're going to be out of the movie, and we'll find someone else to play Wonder Woman. Then it goes on from there. Apparently, the reason why Joss Whedon went back and cut all of Cyborg's scenes from the original movie was because apparently, according to Joss Whedon, he is a bad actor. Which, if you watch the Snyder Cut, that is far from the truth. Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, is a wonderful actor, and I loved how he did in the Snyder Cut. But more came out saying that Joss Whedon and Ray Fish did not have a good off-screen relationship, and saying that Joss Whedon was just a hassle to deal with. He was a prima donna, that he cut his movie because he just doesn't like me in general as a person. And to hear that and other like racist comments that come out apparently about Ray Fish and Joss Whedon, that's not good. That's going to ruin. That's already ruined the DCEU. Like, they don't have a universe of movies anymore because they're resetting it with the Flash.
Right.
Now, another problem stems from. Now, another problem from this stems from the fact that they're trying to erase Zack Snyder's work and the fact that the whole Amber Heard situation is still going on. Now, the Amber Heard situation is there was a petition that was made up to kick Amber Heard off of Aquaman 2. Not only the studio, but the director doubled down on Amber Heard's situation, and they're backing Amber Heard. Even though proof has come out that Amber Heard was the abusive one in hers and Johnny Depp's relationship. Everything is coming to a head here. They are backing Amber Heard in this situation. They're saying, we are not going to listen to the fans. We're not going to let the fans bully us. Last time I checked, it was the fans that are making the movie money.
Right.
So
in a
just,
sense, yes.
So just doubling down on a actor that nobody wants to see, that done somebody wrong, and you're just backing the horse on that one is just, again, the whole situation with... And you got to feel for Jason Momoa in this entire situation, because he's in the middle of this. With him being Aquaman, and he does a fantastic job.
Right.
One of my favorite scenes in the Warner Brothers version of the, I think they keep it in the Snyder scene too, I can't remember, I have to watch that again, is where he sits on the lasso of truth. And he's sitting there like all stoic, and he goes, I ain't afraid to die. And then he sits on the lasso of truth, and he goes, to be honest, guys, I don't want to die. I don't want any of you to die. I want to live through this. I want to go home. And all of a sudden, he notices he's sitting on the lasso of truth, he pulls it out from under him, he goes, God damn it. And he throws it to Wonder Woman. It was such a funny little scene to have. But the fact that the Flash movie is resetting the status quo is a little upsetting to me, because I thought Henry Cavill did an awesome job as Superman in the Snyder cut. Not so much the Warner Brothers cut, because the Warner Brothers cut is just horrible in general. Ben Affleck saying he's bowing out as Batman because just the shit that's going on with Warner Brothers and the DC universe is just astounding to me in general. I mean, I can see why he's doing it. The backlash people were giving the Justice League movie. Honest, it's not his fault. Nobody's blaming him. He's tried to salvage as much as he could, but then at the end of the day, he just give up. He's like, you know what? No. He goes, I can't handle it, which I don't blame him. He goes, I'm done playing Batman. I'm done in general. On the bright side, I guess Peacemaker's doing real well. Obviously,
I will agree with
it.
it.
Talk about that. A lot of people are loving Peacemaker.
To cut it short, John Cena's a good actor.
So here's the thing I want to talk about right now. Is the anime fandom. And the anime fandom is at war. And what I mean at war is the Attack on Titan fandom is at war with the One Piece fandom. And the One Piece fandom, I don't know who's winning. I don't care who's winning. So this whole stems from, I guess, One Piece fans review bombing an episode of Attack on Titan on Rotten Tomatoes and all other sites. They're review bombing it, basically just saying it's bad because it's Attack on Titan, all this and that. Whatever. I'm not on either side. I like both animes.
If people are ignorant enough to listen to the review bombs, then they don't need to watch it anyways.
Then,
if you're dumb enough to listen to someone just spout off nonsense knowing full well that it's not true, you're an idiot and you don't deserve to be part of the fandom anyways.
Then it gets worse because the Attack on Titan fans fired back, review bombing the latest episode of One Piece. It's just a whole big war right now between those two fandoms.
Yeah, I know how I'll get them. I'm gonna say your thing's shit. And then you're gonna say that about my stuff, and then it's gonna be back and forth forever. Like, holy fuck, are we all still 12?
Yes.
My god, man.
Apparently, according to
No,
the
if
thing.
you don't like my anime that I like, you're a piece of shit and I hate you.
No.
I see it so much with Ray Voices, the people that comment. Like, my god,
He
dude.
puts them in their place, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's hilarious.
They're literally telling him he's some odd-year-old man doing this stuff on TikTok. It's like, you're commenting! You're worse!
You're giving him views.
You know how you avoid it? You know how you avoid it? Swipe.
People don't know how to do it.
No,
See,
people
here's
are
what-
so dumb. They don't understand you can swipe up or you can click on the little share button and then hit not interested.
Here's what people don't think about when they comment that kind of stuff. If a guy like Ray Voices, which he does, he fires back, and when he fires back, he makes you shut the hell up. They're just giving him content to make.
Yeah.
They're letting him make money off their comments.
Pretty
Nobody
much.
seems to understand that because there's still people doing it. And it pains me to see like two anime fandoms at war because I don't want anybody. I want everybody in these fandoms because we're talking about something that everybody gets along with. There should be no gatekeeping in this fucking place for anything.
No,
Yeah.
there
Whether it be
shouldn't
for comics or for video games, gatekeeping is bullshit. Is a bullshit ideology in general.
I'll agree that gatekeeping is bullshit. I
There's
do
obvious,
not disagree
there's
with...
obvious certain weird extents, but we don't have to think about those ones right off.
I'm just talking about like, oh, you're not a big
Like
fan. then you
let
shouldn't like it in
fans
general.
let fans enjoy the series. Don't tell them how they enjoy the series, because in some cases they paid the money for their subscription to watch that anime or that show. You shut your fucking mouth and let them
Like-
do what they want to do. It's like with Overwatch. Playing Overwatch online is so frustrating because people will tell you how to play the game that you paid your money for. It's like, how about you shut up, let me play it. If something's not going well, I'll figure it out.
Like, and
how the game
it's such a
goes.
good time to be an anime fan right now. Such a wonderful freaking time because we're gonna get right into the next story. Jujutsu Kaisen that's been breaking the box offices over in China and Japan in Japan for their movie box office. Jujutsu Kaisen is making tons and tons of money right now over there. My Hero Academia is getting its season 6 premiere in fall. Me and Alex will have to catch up on that. I think we're behind a few episodes, which is wonderful because I'm glad My Hero Academia is probably one of my most favorite anime out of like the newer generation of animes right now because it delves into stuff that I also enjoy is like superheroes. Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War arc is making a comeback with its 1,000 Year Blood War arc getting a freaking animation. Not a movie, but the series is coming back and it's starting off with the 1,000 Year Blood War arc. One I'm a little less knowledgeable about, but the one me and Greg watched in School Devil is a part-timer. That's getting to season 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that one's
Really?
doing that. I have not heard that one in years.
Me and you
the fact-
watched it on the way to Bosie's.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking got me into a couple episodes. It was that and there's something else you got me into watching.
I choose to forget certain anime as the years go by for
And then
various reasons.
Last thing we're gonna talk about today is the Dragon Ball superhero movie. Now I wish they picked a better name. I really did. The name is because now there's Dragon Ball Superheroes, Dragon Ball Super World Mission, Dragon Ball Superheroes, Super World Superhero Mission,
Super Ultra Mega Super Duper Whooper.
Dragon Ball Super.
Someone please
Electric
make that a
Boogaloo
thing.
Super motherfucker movie and.
Todd dude at least 2 motherfuckers.
Apparently, according to this one, it's gonna be a Gohan story. Like Goku will be in there. The
He's gonna
trailers-
get a new form. His hair is gonna stay the same, but it's gonna look like Super Saiyan 3. Calling it right now.
I hope not.
I'm okay with that.
I hope not. I really hope not. All of a sudden, it cuts to Raditz because if you think about it, if
It is
Gohan,
just Raditz.
If
It would
Gohan
just be
goes out his hair
Raditz.
and cuts that one bang that Super Saiyan 3 gets, he's gonna look like Raditz. It's gonna cut the Raditz and HFIL if you go by Team 4-star standards, Home for Infinite Losers. And it's gonna cut the Uncle Raditz go. That's my nephew.
Oh, please.
Double Sunday.
Well, there's rumors saying that Bardock can make a return to Dragon Ball Super. Like canon. There's people speculating that
But
he
didn't he
survived.
die?
Well, see, here's
There's-
the thing. Broly is Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie, is considered canon to both the manga itself and the anime.
They kind of retconned a little bit of the origin for Goku, where instead of Bardock going out to his last stand to try and stop Frieza and he dies doing so, him and his wife Gin send Goku off to Earth. And at this point, Raditz is the reason why Raditz survived is because Raditz is already like an 8 to 10-year-old already off destroying his own planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that's how Nappa, Raditz, and Goku and Vegeta had survived. Was they were already off world.
Yep.
Again, that's how Broly survived because they got thrown off world before that event even happened. But there's rumors with the latest manga chapters because the recent villain Granola had remembered Bardock because Bardock had saved him from something. And that possibly could have taken place before the events of Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta. But there's rumors saying that this version of Bardock actually survived, so he could be making his way to Earth. which I kind of hope so because I kind of want to see that reunion between Goku and Bardock.
I personally don't, because that kind of ruins the impact he had on his last stand against
Yeah.
Frieza.
Yeah, that does too. And oh, god damn, I didn't think about that till now. Why'd you gotta ruin it for me, Greg?
Why'd you have to bring it up?
Yeah, what? Because I want to see that. Like, I'm sorry. I want to see like that heartfelt.
Well, it's your fault that he had to ruin it.
No, it's not. It's his fault for ruining it.
Greg, I got your back, man.
Shut
Sorry.
the fuck up. Who asked you?
How many more topics you got?
That's it, actually.
I was gonna say we're at 2.5
This,
hours,
this
man.
Is, Gohan. This is probably gonna be a Gohan story. A lot of people think Cell's gonna make a comeback in this.
Oh no!
Like they want. him to
I'm
make-
going to make a comeback, you say?
Cell, shut the hell up.
Come on, it
Yeah.
took long enough.
No wait.
I
dude.
need more relevancy.
You have Devil Artemis and Team 4-Star. I don't want to hear
Is
it.
Devil Artemis still doing
Yes,
something? Oh
dude,
my
he's still
god, I
doing
it.
love
Yes.
that so much.
How
It's
you-
been a while since I've watched Devil Artemis.
Okay,
Oh my
so the fact that the villains of the story are androids, I don't like, but I'm not
Dr. Gero's
against-
already dead, what the fuck?
Oh,
like,
it's
no.
the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah, it's the Red Ribbon Army.
Oh, I
again.
thought he was like the
No,
last.
the Red Ribbon Army is making a comeback in this.
Yeah.
So it's speculated throughout Z and throughout Super they were just rebuilding their ranks.
That being said,
But wait a minute, if they were if they were rebuilding their ranks throughout Z and Super, it took them that freaking long to rebuild.
I mean, to be fair,
Listen,
it's
man,
not like a lot of
these
time
things-
has passed.
Did you not see how much damage was done?
Oh yeah, God. Oh.
Kid Goku destroyed one of their stations.
A kid.
Yeah. Imagine
a
adult
super
Goku.
powerful alien kid, but a kid nevertheless.
Yeah, I was
Have
gonna
you
say,
guys-
that's not the point.
I know you watched Team 4-Star. Seen. I've shown you
We
clips.
started watching a bit of them.
If you go on, the guy who voices Goku for Team 4-Star, Masako X, has his
I've
own
seen him
YouTube
on
channel.
TikTok.
Go onto his YouTube channel because he does a lot of what ifs. Like he comes up with his own what ifs. One of the what ifs he did is what if Frieza turned good, which I know your favorite character is Frieza, so I figured that
Frieza
would-
and Cell. Cell partially because I can do the
I
voice.
think he did a
but-
Cell one, he did a Frieza one, and he also did a Raditz one. Or what if Raditz turned good, and
Ooh,
then
that actually sounds
he
interesting.
had Raditz end up with Launch instead of TN.
Okay, yeah, that sounds that makes sense.
I don't know. Personally speaking, for me, if we're talking about how things should have gone, Dragon Ball Super, Frieza shouldn't have been in the Tournament of Power.
No.
Majin Buu should.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that
agree
was.
with you.
However,
Wasn't that like a
however-
last second confirmed that it was supposed to be Majin Buu?
like
well, no, it
no,
was the
here's
last second.
No, I mean like story wise.
story-wise, it was
Story
the
wise,
last
it was
second
supposed to
swap.
be him, but
So-
then he was tired from his new
Because
form.
Boo was training, and he
Yeah,
got
he's
that
training
new
his new
skinny
form.
But the skinny form apparently takes a lot out of him.
yeah, he'll
Skinny form is literally
as-
just Super Buu, but
as
good.
Hercule would say, he gets into these random bouts of being in a hibernation like state for months on end for no reason. Now, see, the thing is, the way they could have fixed this is if they had sort of hinted at this for the eventual coming of Moro. Now, here's the thing, okay? At the
We
time
haven't
of
even
Tournament
seen
of Power-
Moro in the anime. have
No,
we?
they haven't
No,
done it
because
yet. It's
Moro-
coming back after Dragon Ball
Yeah,
Super
Moro
Heroes.
is the next arc that happens after the Tournament of Power.
Because
So-
in the movie Dragon Ball Super Heroes, Pan is seen training with Piccolo and Goku.
Yeah,
I forget that the
so here's the
movies
thing.
don't always coexist
Well,
directly
this one's
after.
going to be canon.
So here's the thing.
I mean, timeline wise.
So here's okay. So
Go
here's the
ahead.
thing. If they had set it up where, like, you know, with the Universe 6 tournament, with Majin Buu falling asleep and not being able to join the tournament, that'd be one thing. But come time for the Tournament of Power, instead of, like, you know, training and then falling asleep, what if he just refuses? Like, he just says that he doesn't want to do it, and he's not going to be convinced otherwise. And you could hint at this in the Moro arc by having it being revealed that, like, you know, the reason why he didn't want to join the tournament is because the memories of the Grand Supreme Kai that he absorbed, you know, the thing that makes him Gug.
Gug?
Yeah, the thing that makes him a good person,
I forgot that was the reason he's good in
is
the first place.
aware that Moro is coming back. And he should probably stay in the universe to deal with that threat should it come. But he's stuck in the body of a Jin. So, yeah. As
Wait,
much
is
as I
that
like...
Kai alive inside of Good Boo?
No,
No.
he's dead, but Boo has absorbed the memories of the Kai
And
Ah,
like, his,
okay.
like mannerisms, I guess.
and powers.
And power. Yeah, powers.
Yeah. So here's the thing, okay?
The skinny form of Boo was able to keep up with Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Yeah.
Where it was be the like Super Saiyan 3 would get trounced by normal or Super Saiyan 3 could trounce normal Fat Buu. Skinny Buu was able to keep up with Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
And to be fair, like, technically speaking, he wasn't necessarily stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku. It's just that he was able to outsmart Goku. Remember, the whole point of the training exercise was to get Goku out of a ring, and what does Buu do? He gets Goku out of the ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part though, leading up to the Universal Tournament arc, was the when Android 17 re-enters the picture, and
I was so happy to see
Android
17.
17 was keeping pace with Blue Goku. It got to the point where Gohan was training so much leading up to the tournament, he got his Mystic form back, and Gohan was able to keep pace with Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Yep.
Another one of my favorite parts is Krillin was training so much, he was able to keep pace with Super Saiyan Blue Goku just after a few months of training.
Yep, and then he's the first one to get kicked out of the tournament.
That fucking pisses me off.
How did Roshi last longer?
Battle tactics.
Battle tactics.
How did Krillin lose again? I can't remember who he lost to.
He defeats one person and then immediately gets knocked out by another.
But Tien lasted longer.
Yep.
Uh-oh. 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 I uttered the forbidden
Tien.
name.
Anyway,
It's
I'm not gonna go off on Tien.
My favorite thing,
But
though,
like the long and short of Tien is, I don't hate Tien as a character just because he's Tien. I hate him because his unique things, like his Tri-Beam. The whole thing about Tri-Beam when he first explained it was it could kill him. He uses it several times in fucking Resurrection F alone. And then the second thing when he splits into other forms of himself.
The multiform.
Cool tactic. But he says it cuts his power each time he splits. So what's the point of it? To run. So it's stupid. The whole point of Dragon Ball is supposed to be kick ass, not run away.
If I'm remembering this correctly, maybe Greg can correct me, one of my favorite things in the tournament before we end this tonight is after Krillin was eliminated, he's watching Goku, he's watching everybody else fighting at such high fucking speeds. It's unreal. And even Beerus is looking over at him. Beerus actually asked him, are you able to keep up with their movements? He goes, Krillin legitimately looks at him and goes, every now and again I lose him, but I'm also able to keep up with him. And even Beerus is like, the fuck? How?
Well, see, they explain this during the Resurrection of F arc. Roshi even says it to Krillin that, like, you've trained and battled with such stronger people throughout the years that your body has been able to just keep up with the movements.
Oh my god, Krillin got a Zenkai boost.
Do you guys remember regular Dragon Ball?
Oh my
that first tournament Goku and Krillin fight. Krillin fights a dude who smells so horrible, and he's like 5 times the size of Kid Krillin, and he beats him because he doesn't have a fucking nose. That's how he wins.
One of my favorite things in that is the Android 17 redemption. Kind of it's sort of a redemption, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna end this tonight, guys. We're ending this right here. Thanks for joining us on the super long episode.
As always,
we're gonna try to upload more and more often.
Yeah,
so help me God.
As always, this is the Not So Fast podcast, where even Betty White can punch Thanos. This is your host, John. I will argue that till I'm blue in the face. Betty White is badass.
Well, now it can't be proven wrong.
Exactly. She took Thanos with him.
Thanos died before her.
As always, this is Greg. We hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves.
Hope you enjoy our ADHD.
All right.